Chris the Cartoonist. What's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
Good. I can't wait to show you some of the things I worked on.
Yeah, we can't wait to see it, man.
I love the alliteration. Crazy Chris the Cartoonist. I appreciate
I
the
came up with that
alliteration.
as like thinking of David Goggins. Had to create Goggins. I was like, you know what? I gotta go all in on this.
Yeah.
I gotta just totally bet on myself.
I hear that.
Yo, sometimes that's what you got to do, man.
That is what you gotta do. You gotta believe your own bullshit.
Yo, and no one talks better bullshit than me. I don't know if you saw my Instagram page. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Rants incoming. Rants incoming.
Where I talk so much good bullshit, people are starting to agree with me.
If you believe
I am definitely starting to agree with you more. As long as you're saying it confident, bro. Just say it confident. Say it quick and confident. They'll be like, well, I mean, I might not agree, but he may have a point. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, that's how we do it, man.
100%.
Let's get right into it, though, man.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
It's dope to have people on here, especially artists. And it's funny how you just fit the mold here so well. You doing comics about the great Sabu, right?
Yep.
That's you definitely landed in the right motherfucking place. I'm gonna tell you that right now. There's comics, there's wrestling, there's bullshit, there's crazy. Literally, like everything you got going on fits perfectly here.
Well, you guys are big comic fans. You know David Mazzucchelli?
No, not really. Who?
He was an artist who did Batman Year One, worked with Frank Miller.
Okay.
And he drew Daredevil Born Again.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, and he worked with Frank Miller on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my professors at the School of Visual Arts.
Oh, nice.
That's dope.
Dude, I'm sorry. Can I talk a little bit about myself?
Yo, that's what you here for.
We
man.
here for you. We here for you, bro.
You got the camera player.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I was in the Army.
Okay.
And 82nd Airborne. And when I parted ways with the Army, I left on an honorable and decided, you know what, I want to go to school. And I had to really think about what I wanted to go to school for, and I picked cartooning. Mm-hmm. So this is where I am now. I just graduated 2020.
Nice. Congratulations, bro.
And thank you for your service, brother.
Yeah,
for real.
bro. Thank you for your service. Yeah.
Always shout out to the vets here, man. That's 100. Man. Always shout out to the vets. So.
You know, it's crazy. My brother Cap, he's also a member on the show. He had to work tonight. That's why he's not here. But he was in the Navy. And when he got discharged from the Navy, he went to school for digital arts. So it's kind of cool thing. Yeah, he designed the background that we're using right now. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
So that would have been dope if he was here. Y'all would have had something in common.
That's what we love. That's what we love the vets, though.
Yeah.
I wanted to let me show you the first. This was the first issue, actually, of Sabu that I did. And he signed it.
Oh, nice.
No, that's dope.
And I made sure he got the first printing.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave him a bunch. And the first thing he asked me, he was like, "Where did you get this from?" And then I said, "I made it. I made it for you." And I wanted to build up to be a chain letter. You know, I'm calling it Legends of Wrestling, right? On the top.
That looks sick, bro.
Yeah, that is dope.
So good.
Yeah, my wife colored it. Yeah, you know what? I know it's a niche audience, and people kept on telling me not to do a wrestling comic, like they didn't get it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, y'all don't understand the language to this, man. This thing goes wild.
Hell yeah.
It's anime. I don't even watch wrestling like that, but wrestling is just anime, bro. There's crazy story arcs. There's so much exposition. There's just so much characters. It's anime. You can literally put it on print as cartoons and move that shit, bro. It really, I think it's great.
I said that a bunch to friends. I'm like, yo, if I were to tell you to come see this 360 stage of a one take fight scene, you might understand what I'm looking at, you know, like you might understand a little bit more of like what it is, the evolution of the carnival, man. Like shit.
For real, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It started out in the circus, and then it went like professional with the Greco-Roman wrestling. There goes Cap right here. Much respect.
Yes.
My fellow service member. That's my brother Cap right there in the comment. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's pretty much what it is. And like it's like a live action movie.
Yeah.
That every week has a different chapter in it. To be caught up in that story it's
yes.
Yeah, man.
It's especially great when it's consistent, you know?
Yeah.
Like, every week it follows, you're like, oh, we're like Cap said it perfectly. The evolution of a character is happening. You're seeing someone grow. You're growing with them as you see them grow. You're like, okay, I get it. Now you're this. Now this happened. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And now you got a title. It's like, oh, so now you've matured. You leveled up. It's like an anime.
Oh yeah.
I'll just show you a couple. Can I show you a couple pages up?
Yeah, you can show us whatever you want to show us, bro.
Go for it.
So I started off with Sabu stabbing Bam Bam Bigelow in the head.
Not Bam Bam.
Well, just as like, you know, the opening splash, like gotta catch your attention, you know?
Yeah, for real. And if you're gonna do ECW, you gotta stab somebody. Shit.
Yeah. So I had to go in that violent. I wanted to go in that gritty outlaw. Oh, as a matter of fact, this showed my comic showed up on this other podcast, Cartoonist Kayfabe.
Oh, nice.
Was where my comic made a podcast before I did.
So they just randomly bought in your comic?
No. A lot of people send them comics and they review comics. It's two cartoonists by the name of Jim Rugg and Ed Piskar. He's doing a Red Room, and Jim Rugg is doing Incredible Hulk Grand Design. That should be coming out soon.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I'm plugging them too.
Hey, man. I tell you, there's no host bars in any of these podcasts that we do, man.
Go for it, yeah.
The way I tried to tell this, it's like outlaw. It's black and white. It looks like bootleg comic. Like I was trying to go for that Quentin Tarantino like.
Yeah.
So damn, I'm freaking all over the place.
It's so good.
We can see it.
Can you see that good?
Yeah.
So
there's so much detail.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I wanted him to just come in, busting through the door, bleeding out, and they're just screaming their heads off. Like, we need an ambulance. Like, we need help.
That's it. That's a regular Tuesday night for Sabu right there. That's Tuesday for Sabu. That's what he does on Tuesdays. He bleeds out to the ambulance.
Exactly.
You don't get the moniker the most homicidal, suicidal, genocidal man in wrestling, you know?
Without a little bloodshed.
Just a little bit.
Let me show y'all some more. I did a Bob Ross comic as well.
Oh, nice.
What?
Nice.
You got what?
What? Wait. Okay, listen. I know this is wrestling, but you just bought out Bob Ross. Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. So during 2020, I said I was smoking up. I was smoking and I turned on Bob Ross, and a squirrel pops out of his pocket. And me and my wife are dying laughing. And I go, that's a comic book right there. And she was like, shut up. She goes, that's brilliant. And I'm going, yo, Bob Ross and the Kung Fu Squirrel. That's it. That's it right there. That's the fucking line.
Yo,
that was it.
So good, bro. Look at that.
So
that is incredible.
You ever read Punisher Kills?
Oh well, you know
the Marvel Universe.
That's the Punisher guy.
Yeah.
Look at the tattoo. Look at the tattoo.
Here.
Literally the tattoo right there.
It's literally how I go. Yeah, it's my favorite.
So I thought if Bob Ross What does he do late nights? Where does he go? Right.
Oh, this is so funny.
But this leads up to Bob Ross kills the PBS universe.
Yo, it's the exact same gear he wears on the show. Like he doesn't even change.
Oh, wait, this is a stoner comic. Like this is psychedelia. Like, here's where this goes.
Oh wow!
Hey, got a bad bitch on him. Okay.
Well, we have dinosaurs.
My bad.
We have dinosaurs kick flipping.
Yeah, we got Barney.
Yo, don't sleep. Bob Ross was he
But
he
yeah,
did
that's
some
how
dirt.
I open up.
Yeah, apparently Bob Ross had the middle-aged ladies on him.
Yeah, he did some dirt. I love the shot with the motorcycle.
Yeah, that was
From the back. It's like
I'm just glad that he's holding the gun with the gear from like he just came off the set.
Yeah,
So,
so good.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh, my man looking like the Punisher.
yeah, so
Yeah.
the government wants him to come back into action, but he doesn't want to come back.
Yeah.
I found out that Bob Ross did 20 years in the military
He did. He served for sure. Yeah.
before painting.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Bob Ross is not to be tested somewhere.
Yo,
He's not
for
to be
real.
tested. Like, listen, you see me make happy little trees, but I take out your spleen, son. Don't mess with me.
Yeah.
Damn,
when
Bob,
they said
man.
that, when they said he did 20 years
Yeah, I didn't know there was that
as a
side.
drill, I'm like, nah, he's not all there. And this is my latest comic that I just did.
Oh,
Nice.
that's dope.
Chapter 2.
That's dope.
And that Sandman he about to smack.
Yep.
Sandman, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can not even I can just tell by the shape of his head. That's Sandman.
Yeah.
I know that's Sandman.
As I was drawing him,
Yeah.
I said he looks so much like the Toxic Avenger.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
in some
About
photos.
that.
Yo, for real, man.
Right. Yo, I didn't think you're right.
He was so
here's the
inebriated. Oh, that's dope.
That's so good.
That's
The silhouette. That's so good.
Yeah, so here's one of the
That's
pages of
that's dope work, man.
lead up to a fight. This one's got some red in it in certain scenes.
Oh, you got that whole like original Ninja Turtles vibe going too.
Thank you.
Yo.
That is all right. I'm gonna show you something I just did.
Here we go. You just activated the trap card.
Because you just said that's like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's funny that you just said that because I just drew Ninja Turtles.
You're doing what? What are the turtles doing?
I just drew Ninja Turtles. I went to Chile in December.
Nice.
With my wife to be with her family, and her cousin makes and delivers pizzas out the house. That was his side hustle, and then it became his main thing in Chile.
That's crazy.
So he made his own business out of his house, and I'm like, we're talking passionate about pizza. We're talking about Ninja Turtles. I'm like, let me draw you up some designs. So I
for like almost like a logo for like his company or something.
Yeah, like
Okay.
like I said, if you can make some stickers of this and some. So here's one.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
You know what's
That's
dope.
too
The
good.
pizza never looks like that, by the way, but that's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks exactly like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Damn,
I got one more design. I just
That's really
drew
good.
up.
You know, it's because they never fold the pizza.
That's true.
You know,
don't
they
fold
just let
They
it
don't
hang
fold it.
right there.
They
Yeah.
don't fold it.
This is another one I just drew up.
Damn.
Let me make this.
Oh wow. Oh, that's dope.
Oh, that is
Damn,
yeah.
that is so good. That's really good.
Yeah, I was laughing when you said the Ninja Turtle. I'm like, oh shit, it's just freaking.
Gotta link it up, man.
La Flaca, what's up, yo?
So how many different comics have you drawn so far? Or are you just like on Sabu and then you're gonna like transition to
Independently just now. I just did these 4. But through school and in college, the Sabu comic was my senior project.
Oh.
And right towards the end, COVID hit right towards the end, and it like derailed a lot of shit. it was
fucking COVID, bro.
Screwing us up so bad. But
man.
It still did it, and I was just mad. I was very happy to just get it into print and
for sure
put it out by hand. But I've sold a little over 500 just out of my book bag.
Nice. Damn. Nice.
So thank you.
So
I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start needing help for this shit because it's starting to sell pretty fast.
Good, man. That's what's up. So let's start at the beginning, right? So like, you know, obviously you said that you were in the military for quite some time, and then you got out, you went to school, but like, was comics ever something that was in your mind before, you know, going to the military? Like, did you draw as a kid? Like, where did it all start?
I drew all the time as a kid. And my dad would get me coloring books, and I wouldn't even color in the coloring book. I would copy the coloring book.
Yeah.
And he would say to my mom, he'd go, "Your son's broken." We
all been there.
But then I got really good memories of whenever I was sick, my dad would come with some comic books, and we'd be like, "Here, you okay, buddy? Here, I got you some comics. I got you." Like, I just really remember just being up late at night with a flashlight or just freaking some type of light, and I would try to like copy. And then when I was like 10, my parents put me into a thing in the museum, in the Metropolitan Museum.
Nice.
But it was mostly adults drawing in the museum. Mm-hmm. But I got to actually draw from life, so you're drawing all types of stuff like real skulls and mimicking paintings. So
when did you think that, like, you know, maybe I can create a comic? When did that start?
Actually when I was in basic training, instead of sending letters to my wife, I started drawing her as a comic character.
Damn. That's cool, man.
So she would get a laugh. I would get a laugh. Like, I would draw her doing, like at one point, we're having a phone conversation, and I'm like, "Babe, I'm gonna make you draw doing some gory stuff, like killing a rabbit." I'm like a different take of Snow White, you know, like that. Yeah. And then she's like, "I don't want to kill no rabbit or no squirrels yeah. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have you kill all those." Like all the cute animals, like turn on zombie like.
Yeah.
Now he just set a standard that's hard to meet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He set a standard, and I was like, "Yo, but you don't send me drawings." I go, "First of all, I don't draw. Second of all, that makes sense." Just remember who we're talking about. Okay? Yeah. I'll give you a nice text emoji message.
Yeah, stick figure.
I was drawing her, and then there was a good friend of my pops, my dad's friend. You know, you guys know a person like this who can totally fuck up all the damn time. Who can fuck up any good situation.
It's like 50% of this podcast right now. I am that person. I am that person. Yeah.
So
off the rails in like a second, you go like, "Oh, there goes that."
My pop's friend, his name was Mike Kaz. I called it the Misadventures of Mike, right? And so, because he would tell all these barroom stories that I would die laughing, and I'm going, "Get the fuck out of here. No way did this happen." Every time.
It's like so he'd tell you that like the story would just tell itself. You're like, "You really did that?" I was like, "Let me just put it on paper."
My pop and his friend, I'm like, two Irish guys in a bar. There's your story that can work every week.
literally the story of Boondock Saints.
Absolutely.
Literally the story of that
Absolutely
movie.
Correct. Yes.
Two Irish guys in a bar in Boston, and here we go. It's
right
funny
now, somewhere in Belfast, there's a joke starting like that. Two Irish guys walking to a bar.
The picture that you have of Bob Ross, the picture you have of Bob Ross holding the guns in the back on the wall kind of reminded me of that scene in Boondock Saints when they go in all the guns. And let me tell you, we referenced that movie maybe once every other podcast. Maybe? At least I do.
Absolutely,
it's a very important movie.
I love Boondock Saints.
What's going on, Pro? What's going on, Amy? What's going on, Big Food? We got a very special guest in here, man. This guy is super cool, super funny. Has been having us dying from the minute he spoke.
real.
Look and appreciate the alliteration of the name. Crazy Chris, the Cartoonist. Putting some real good stuff in there. If you guys got any questions, please feel free. But okay, so something that I like to ask, like obviously, you know, you mentioned that obviously wrestling is an inspiration for you. So what are other things that kind of got you drawn? You said these books, you said Turtles. You know, what is it that gets you going? Like you see, like I know you can see anything, like your friend right now, like your dad's friend. But what really like got you inspired, like back in the day? Origins, Crazy Chris origins.
What really inspired me back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Like what comic characters? What kind of TV shows were you watching?
The comics that I really liked were any character that didn't have superpowers. So like Batman, I was always intrigued with. Because of the psychological part of, okay, this is supposed to be Houdini mixed with SF mixed with freaking True Detectives, you know, like it's he's matter of fact, he's supposed to be Sherlock Holmes and Robin's supposed to symbolize freaking Watson.
It's a good way to look at it.
Because I think all these characters back in the day, they always got some subtext, and there's always undertones, and because they couldn't tell stuff like right out front, so they always have like something to symbolize or talk in code.
Mm-hmm. Batman's always. I mean, look, we have some Batman haters in here. Be honest, but continue. You save space.
Let me grab some water.
Please do.
I could tell you. You ever read Transmetropolitan?
No. Looking it up right now.
Are you a fan of Hunter S. Thompson? Or Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Mm-hmm. No.
Rum Diary?
No. I've the Fear and Loathing I've read, and then I saw the movie, and I was like, yeah.
That guy, that character, they take him as inspiration for Transmetropolitan. So they use Hunter S. Thompson, that guy, the writer for Sports Illustrated, who got into all this wild. He lived like a rock star. This guy had a crazy rock and roll life as a writer. So they try to mimic it in comic book format with sci-fi wrapped around it. This is the artist who drew The Boys.
Okay.
So it gets crazy like that. I was so hooked to that series. Like I think, oh man, if there's one to like check out, it's that, because the guy doesn't got no superpowers. He's just trying to put out the truth, like trying to tell the people, but the people kind of like reject whatever the truth is. They just sounds like a nut.
It's kind of like today's society.
It totally, like, for this to be made in the 90s, you just see so much wild, like, Matrix stuff in there. You see like that Johnny Mnemonic, this just like all this like calling out futuristic stuff, like
that's my favorite kind of. That's my favorite kind of shit. Really, that dystopian future where the technology has saved us but messed us up at the same time.
Yeah,
and everyone's just had all that cyberpunk stuff. Cyberpunk setting. Apparently they have the Blade Runner TV show dropping.
Yeah, it's about to drop.
I'm very excited about that because that last movie was really good.
Yeah.
What is it? 2049? Yeah. She was really good. She was really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So real quick,
Batista's in that. So there's your wrestling link to that. Batista's in that one. There's your wrestling link right there.
Yeah, for real.
Hold on. Before you go, Cap. I respect your views on Batman. You always make me think. He says, I'm not a hater. I'm just not a fan of Batman. I actually appreciate that because we get to come in here and kind of talk shit about Batman all the time, even though like most of us like him. But I do like the different opinion, of course.
Definitely pick up Batman Black and White if you wanna like have something to collect that's like that also helps you with composition and just looking at how all these great artists are doing all these stories. You just and they're quick stories. I want to say they're like 5-page stories and 2-page stories but yeah, Batman Black and White. That's a really good book. I think I always go back to reference that.
That's dope.
My bad, Toe. You were gonna say something?
No. So all right. So it's well known that me and Show, he's another guy that's supposed to be on this podcast, but he's always late. He's the diva. We're not too well versed in comics. So, Cabs, Lay, and Cap are the experts. But one thing I can pride myself on is knowing about wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna steer it just a little bit to the wrestling side, and I'm gonna assume that Sabu is one of your favorite wrestlers.
Yes.
Okay,
and I feel like he was heavily underrated. He just felt like
this is correct.
I was gonna do Stone Cold at one point, and I'm like, no, I don't want to come out the gate with Austin. I was like, I want to try something that more people should know.
No, I hear you.
I'm with it. Yeah.
And the crazy shit is you can make a comparison to Sabu and Austin, where like Austin had The Rock, Sabu had Rob Van Dam. You know what I'm saying? Taz. Like in the innovation that they had in the generations. Because Austin was something completely different. He was the guy who went against the system in an era where the system's not supposed to exist. And Sabu was he was the suicidal dude that's already in a hardcore environment.
Yes.
So if you're more hardcore than the people who are hardcore, that's some crazy shit.
That was another thing. Like I try to put that in the comic that I remember getting a VHS tape with Sabu. Like I remember being given this VHS tape in school, like it was a deal going down. shady stuff out the book bag, like and then
really shady.
This is what built him up. My friends are hyping him up so much because they're like, "You don't know who Sabu is? Oh man, what?" And then everybody got their own little story on him, and then I see him. And the opening match that I see him is him versus Terry Funk in a barbed wire match.
Oh yeah,
so the infamous. That was me seeing Sabu for the first time, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yo, Cabs, if you're not familiar with that barbed wire match,
I am familiar with the barbed wire match. Man. Old school wrestling we can talk about. It's all this new shit.
Not to plug my comic again, but that's what's in chapter 1.
Nice.
That's what's in chapter 1 for about 20 pages.
Please plug the comic. That's what you're here for. We're gonna put links up. We're gonna put Instagrams up. We're gonna do it all so they could come and see you. You have any projects working on, any Kickstarters? Please let us know.
Thank you.
We're gonna show love to all that shit, man. For real.
Yo, Sabu was the first guy that I've ever seen. Like he cut his whole bicep open.
Yeah.
And he goes to Bill Alfonso, like, give me the tape, tapes of his bicep in the middle of a real fight with Terry Funk. On some, let me fucking do this, and then we can finish. And Terry Funk is like, stop being a pussy. And he's taping it up, and you just see the tape like swinging from his body while he's fighting Terry Funk in a barbed wire match. Like, you went from a barbed wire match to a real fight, back to the barbed wire match. It's like, oh man, I don't think we're gonna get wrestling like that, anytime soon.
I don't know, bro. Bring out the barbed wire, bring out all that backyard stuff. I don't think the people are ready for that nowadays.
What? Have y'all been keeping up with AEW, or you guys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was saying, we was talking about that Hangman and the Murder Hawk had a good old school match to kind of give you that feel. You know what I mean?
Yo, Hangman got cut. It felt like during commercial break.
Mm-hmm.
like above the. He got hit. He got broken. He got opened up the hard way. Like
yeah,
you could tell the way he was bleeding. His beard was soaked.
Yeah,
man.
There was no blading there, buddy.
No. Yeah, was,
sure. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was just. It's sometimes it's good to go back to matches like that to remind folks that these guys go through hell and high water just for you. Well, you're getting your money's worth and then some, because those dudes can damn near pass out from all the blood they dropping right there.
Yeah,
running around John McClane on just some.
You know what's funny? I don't watch wrestling as much anymore, but like now I'm messing with you guys. I'm gonna have to jump back in sooner or later, bro, for real.
Yeah.
Plus, my son is now a big fan. I took him to an event the other day, and I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the best sporting events I've ever been to in my life. Like, I've been to football games, basketball games, hockey games. This shit was electric. I was like, yo, this is so fun. Like, even if you don't fuck with wrestling, pull up to the event, bro. Like, just any old regular. But there's one, you guys, you just said right now that there's the one match that you always go back to. I actually just went back to this on YouTube like 3 weeks ago for no reason. I always remember it's kind of like a no holds bar. I think they called it the Chicago Street match. It was the Nation of Domination versus DX. Nice. Yo, that match was ridiculous. It was just like a straight like 6-on-6, like no pins. No, it was just whoever died last wins. It was yo, son. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, yo, wrestling isn't fake. It's choreographed. There's a difference. It still hurts. There's still a lot of improvisation. Yes. And these dudes will fuck themselves up. Like the way people get hyped about watching like The Raid. You ever seen The Raid? The movie The Raid? Yeah. Like the same way you get hyped about that choreographed fighting with special effects to make it look crazy. It's the same way you can get hyped for wrestling. Like if you watch like old school Hong Kong cinema and love that, you can also love wrestling. It's the same thing, but all wrestling is just a lot more realer with a lot more injuries. Tell people all the time, bro, don't hate. These guys are really putting in effort. They're giving it their hearts every night. They have tons of problems. These motherfuckers barely make it past 50. You feel me? Like, yeah. Shout out to the wrestlers, man, for real, bro.
Yeah, if you think about it, they're professional athletes. They're professional athletes, like let's say LeBron or Ocho Cinco, right? Where the narrative that the public put on them are that they're bad guys because of the decision and because of the way they act. Now they can't really be bad guys because they have sponsors and their teams and responsibilities. But a wrestler is the same athlete. You don't like me? Fuck you. At any moment, he could be like, "Fuck you," and now I'm gonna kick your boy's ass. You know what I'm saying? Like they're the athletes that can actually talk back to you.
Nobody sponsors Stone Cold thinking that he's gonna be all PG about it. Like, no, we are sponsoring your persona. We want you to curse at everyone. We want you to throw beer on yourself. We want all of that. There's a podcast that I watch. They're game journalists, and there's this one guy. He's like a huge wrestling fan. His name is Michael Huber, and he goes, "Yo, it is my dream to just get stunned by Stone Cold. I want him to stun the shit out of me. I want him to take the beers, throw it all over me." He's like, "Your life is over after that."
You were going to say something, Chris, my bad. Bucket list.
For real, you were going to say something, though, Chris, my bad.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
My bad. Yeah, we were talking about sponsors.
Who's your actual favorite wrestler of all time? Like, do you have a Mount Rushmore?
Oh, Macho Man Randy Savage. If there's number one, because I've been him for a couple Halloweens now.
Nice.
And I act him out all the damn time in the house.
We're not gonna make you do that. We're not gonna make you do that.
I mean, if you want to, we're not gonna stop you from doing it either. You know what I'm saying?
I go around the house. I'm like, Elizabeth, get over here. And my wife's name ain't Elizabeth.
Yo, I swear to God, if I find a girl named Elizabeth, that's how I'm gonna name. That's how I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's just for life. Yeah, just look down. Don't look down.
Just a little fun thing to throw out there. I find it, bro.
There it is.
There goes the Macho Man right there.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah. You know, I had to.
That's funny.
Go follow immediately.
For real. I put the link in the chat. I'll put it back in there. But so obviously you grew up in the 80s. I mean, you know, you fell in love with the wrestling in the 80s, you know, to have Macho Man as your favorite wrestler.
For real.
So
yeah, I'm an 80s kid. I was born in 85.
Okay.
But yeah, Macho Man, the way he would talk shit, nobody I ever saw was talking shit like that. Like,
seriously.
The way anything he grabbed became a prop.
Yeah.
If you look at all the stuff he used, like if there was a garbage can there, let me use that garbage can. Is that cream? Like, let me use that cream.
He said, I was in catering and I saw that. Bring it with me.
That the newspaper. I love Mean Gene Okerlund comes over to him at one point and says, "What are you doing, Macho?" And he's looking at the paper and he just starts ripping it up. And he goes, "I'm looking at yesterday's news." He's like, "Cause that's what you want."
Shit, man. I will always love the cup of coffee. Yeah, cup of coffee.
The cream of the crop.
The pinky was always like, he finished with the pinky up, and I'm like, what does that mean? What are you telling us, Macho?
Yeah, you know what? You know what he was? He was a wife beater for that character. Just look at the character, not him himself.
Yeah.
The character. And he's a pimp.
Yeah.
Look at the person that made his outfits. The dude that made his outfits made outfits for pimps.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And Macho Man said he wanted to wear stuff that nobody else and no other wrestler could pull off.
Yeah. Because the more color he had, the more eyes he had on him. Because everybody had the regular, you know, blue, yellow tights and all that. He wanted mixed match shit to have like a peacock. He wants to be the flashiest dude in the ring.
And it's funny. I remember telling somebody, yo, Macho Man 1 was not a small man, but he got height on that elbow. It was a big he got so much height on that elbow. And it was like, literally, his muscle memory is nuts because it was literally the same way every time. It never looked different. And those ropes back in the day were so loose.
Oh yeah,
it was scary if you look at that shit.
Oh yeah.
That ring crew was like, yo, we got to get this up. We got another show, man. We can't tighten it up fully.
Now, I have a question for you wrestling guys. Then, like, are the story arcs and the personas as good as they were back then, man? Like the Macho Mans, the Bret Harts, the Heartbreak Kids, man. Like, you know, even basic dudes that weren't all that crazy were still
mid-card guys, fun.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think right now, man,
you got to give them a chance.
The best storyline you have going on right now is Roman Reigns because of his evolution. Like we said before, he went from being forced upon us, and now we're like, yo, that's who he should have been from the get. Like, you should have let him evolve himself.
Yeah.
And we said it all the time. Chris Jericho said, like, yo, if you let him be him, he's mad cool if you let him be him. And he's just Roman Reigns at 11. But nowadays, they're not like they were back then. They're not as interesting. Like, a lot of it, they try to force it, so nobody's seeming natural. At least in my opinion. You know, it doesn't seem like, oh, that's what the dude is. No, he's trying to be this way.
It feels like everyone was a superstar.
People, though, like Eddie Kingston.
Oh, that's different. Yeah. But that's Eddie, though. Eddie's that way. I've seen
Eddie. I feel that
like
from certain wrestlers. They give such a good, like MJF.
Oh, no, he's perfect.
Have you seen him not break character with this 11-year-old girl?
Yeah. He gives her the finger and shit.
Yeah, I was dying laughing seeing this. I could not believe that he did not break character with an 11-year-old girl.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't break character for nobody.
Freaking said your parents did a big mistake 11 years ago. Like,
he was wrestling at a beach somewhere, right? And he's on the second rope, and the kid flips him off. He gets down and he like swings to kick the kid, and the kid runs away. He's on some, oh, you flipping me off, you little bastard? And you hear him, you flip me off, you little bastard? It's like, he is literally that guy all the time. No interview changes. He's never nice. I remember somebody told me at an airport they saw him, and he was like, go fuck yourself, I'm not signing shit. You're like, my man, there's no cameras here. He was like, there's no cameras here. He was like, fuck you, I don't care.
Yeah. So he's keeping kayfabe alive, but there's also got to be a piece of him that feels so good that he created this alter ego.
He did a cameo for this newly the wedding for this couple, and he basically was like, "Yo, dude, I don't know how you bag this chick. I mean, she's mid. Don't get me wrong, she ain't all that. For you, she's somebody. But I mean, like for me, she's nobody. But I don't know how you bagged her. Because you're an ugly dude. But you know what? The fucking wedding. Just be happy she don't leave with me by the end of the night. You know what? Now, enjoy your fucking wedding." That's what he did in the cameo. I'm like, damn.
Yo, no lie to you, Cabs, you would love this dude. This dude, you know, like the person that reminds me of that was like Nikolai Volkov. I mean, to the point where at no point this one dude legally changed his name to that. So he's at no, and by the way, he's like from like Alabama, some shit like that. At no point did he ever drop the accent. He would go through airports, sometimes in his wrestling gear, just to prove a point.
Yeah.
Yo, you're in a singlet on some speaking in a Russian accent, and we're like, yo, my man, you're good. You're not in the ring. He goes, I don't care. Go fuck yourself. God damn, why are you angry at me now? So
I like Cap Victor says Macho Man had a match with Arn Anderson, I don't know who that is, for the WCW TV title, one of his best. See, now WCW, that's when I was knee deep into wrestling. And when what really had me, I mean, NWO will forever be GOAT. Yeah, but what really got me into WCW was all the high flyers, man. All of the Lucha Libre dudes, man. Like that. That's what got me.
Saturday Night Nitro.
Yep.
That's Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's where you would see a lot of high flyers.
I loved all of that shit, man. I used to watch that, and it was funny going from WWF, now WWE, you know, going into that, and I was like, and you would always see like my parents rolling through Univision and Telemundo. You know, you would catch it. They showed Lucha Libre on that, but they did. But so you would always know that they were on the scene somewhere, but I never seen them on the screen. And it was Ultimo Dragon, Rey Mysterio, even the little dudes, even the regular no name, the Psychosis, I think was his name.
Yeah,
what is it? It's a awesome. It's
Supernova,
cool.
And
super
then
cool,
and then La Parca, and then La Parca.
Horrible shooting for press.
La Parca, yo, I think I just
of all time.
I just stopped doing that dance. I just stopped doing that dance like 5 years ago.
My father would die laughing every time Parker did those moves. Oh my God.
My favorite was that he would do it on the chair. He'd get on the chair and just start. Yo, I was like, that shit really got me into it.
I remember the moment I hear the Rey Mysterio beat. I'm like, shh, I gotta hear this. Because you had to record it off TV. You couldn't, there's nowhere you're not getting a CD off that. I hear the beat and I'm like, yo, that beat is sick.
No, the dun 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 dun.
And then the Eddie Guerrero when he became a bad guy. That beat too.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yo, we got a question from the chat.
I got Eddie Guerrero pin.
Nice.
That's
one of my all-time favorites, man.
Oh, nice.
Love that dude.
Thank you.
So, yo, we got a question for the chat from Cap. He goes, Chris, do you think you would do a comic with one of the cruiserweights? Their characters seem to lend well to the comic book enthusiasts.
A cruiserweight?
Aesthetics.
Is that what this says? Oh, yeah, aesthetics. My bad.
I did.
No, I can't read.
I did want to do a Chris Benoit comic. For a long time. It's just so hard to tell that narrative without mentioning the end of like how his life went. Mm-hmm. So like I would want to do it not so I don't want to tell it jacked up. Like I want to tell like the dude went through so much like prior to that event.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a wild ass story.
Yeah, and it's a touchy subject too, because a lot of people still hate him for the shit that he did.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I can't blame him, and then at the same time, I'm like, you can't take the dude completely out of wrestling. Like, that's one thing you can't do. Is like you're taking an artist completely out of the frame. Like,
there's a jump in Royal Rumble winners. It goes and then skips over Benoit. Like, yo, there's no mention of that winner of the Royal Rumble. No mention whatsoever.
They took away Randy Orton's world title win for a while when he beat Chris Benoit at SummerSlam. He became the youngest champion. And like shortly after that, Brock Lesnar won the title, and then he became the youngest champion in WWE history. It's like
you gotta think of all the names that are affiliated with him too.
Yeah,
like they get affected by that.
And it's funny, you got in Japan, he was the Pegasus Kid. You know what I'm saying? And then he's one of the that started the cruiserweights in ECW, which WCW took from inspiration. And you're like, all right. Then he was a horseman. He was legitimately a 4 horseman.
Yeah.
Gone. That's it.
The Owen Hart tribute match was him and Bret Hart in WCW.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
And that was when WCW was on a decline. That's one of the better matches they ever had. Period.
Yeah. By the way, I just got great news
for the TV title. That 5 Series match, those were amazing. Yeah. But now, like, you have to look. Yo, you know how hard it's to find it on YouTube? Like, you can only find like 2-minute clips, and then you just kind of like put it together and watch them back to back. It's impossible. Like, finding footage of him is almost impossible, man.
Yeah.
You said you got good news? I just check this out. While we're talking about all of this, right? Literally at 9:43, my baby mom hits me up. She goes, hey, how were those seats at WWE Raw? They're coming back to Miami, and I'm looking at tickets. So I told her about the seats, and I was like, hey, listen, if you don't want to take the baby, I'll take him. I'll take him. And she goes, yeah, you can take him. It's Friday, March 4th, SmackDown. I'm there, fellas.
And you're gonna see. I'm gonna tell you right now. The guy that's gonna open the show is the best storyline to have going. That's Roman Reigns. So
Roman Reigns, I know who Roman Reigns is. I know who Roman Reigns is.
He's the best thing going. He's the best story they got going. So
I'm excited.
Kaz, I need you to do me a favor.
Sure.
You might think it's illegal, but if you drop my name, it's not. If Sasha Banks comes out to the ring, jump over the guardrail and give him my number.
I'm gonna try to FaceTime you when that happens.
Yeah, just jump over the guardrail and be like, yo, this is Toe Tag's number. You know what to do with it. And then just go back. And the security guard's like, what happened? And she was like, don't worry about it. Let him go. And then you enjoy the show. You get free popcorn out of it.
All right, cool. Say less.
All right, cool. There you go.
I was actually waiting for that. I was like, here it comes.
Digital job. That's the best. Let's not get it twisted. Sasha Banks loves me. It's just she's not ready to admit it. You know what I'm saying?
She told me. She told me in confidence.
Yeah. I'm not scared of it, but you know what? I gotta let her do her thing. You know what I'm saying? Like she's a peacock. Let her fight.
She's a professional. Let her be a pro. Let her be a pro.
They're not gonna hold it down.
Okay, here's a question, Chris. Now the 80s movies. Like, is there any 80s movies that you automatically, it's on TV or you see it on a guide or you're like, oh, they're gonna give it, or you go to it in Prime Video.
They live.
Like, it's Prime Video. They have it, the old school stuff. And like you go to, you're like, yo, I gotta see that. No matter what, we got to sit down and watch this. Or at least I
got Army of Darkness, the poster in the back.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice. There we go.
This shit right here, just like, I'll tell you right now, this motivated me to like. I want to say in like my early 20s, I'm like, you know what? Fuck all that. I'm just gonna talk to the baddest bitch in the bar every time I walk in the bar. That's it. That shit raised my ego.
That's what's up, man.
It's funny you say they live. You know, probably one of the best movie fight scenes of all time.
Yes.
Like it wasn't high flying, it wasn't crazy, but it was great. The story behind it was great.
Yeah,
it's funny because somebody goes,
like,
"Yo,
put on these shades."
No, that long. They're like, "Yo, but
Beautiful.
Yo, have you ever been in a fight that you're like, you consistently keep going? Yo, if two people do not like each other, they're gonna go, man.
Yeah,
Cardio sometimes goes away. You're like, yo, by the way, props to Keith David for keeping up with Roddy Piper.
For
props.
real.
Yes.
Keith David is dope.
A fresh Piper.
Fresh Piper. Long hair.
That was a fit Piper.
It's funny.
Yeah.
You don't realize how big Piper is till he's in a movie like that. You're like, yo,
yes,
he's a big man.
Next to regular people.
Yes.
Yeah. Next to regular sized individuals.
You know what I'm saying? It's funny because I didn't know this, and my point out to me, which is hilarious. We're watching the Golden Girls, right? And that woman Blanche, she looks like one of them. She looks like they live without, like, when you take away the thing.
Yeah.
She was like, I was like, yo, do you see it? And she goes, oh my God, because of the hair and everything, she looks like they live. Like all the aliens. You can look it up and go, damn, son.
Excuse me for one moment. I'm gonna get the charger because my phone is freaking gonna die.
All right.
No problem, man.
One moment.
Yo, Cabs. To answer your question earlier about the personas of the old school wrestlers in this, back in the day, they didn't have like a blueprint for what worked. They took like the top guys took personas from other wrestlers, like Hulk Hogan took from Superstar Billy Graham. The Nature Boy actually took the Nature Boy from Buddy Rogers.
Yep.
You know, like they took their thing, like, and also I forgot the dude's name, but they took pieces of other wrestlers that Gorgeous George, and they molded it to fit themselves, and they ran with it, and then they grew into like phenomenons and shit. So it was basically like you had the Macho Man who can talk and do anything with it, or you had the guy who's crazy like the Ultimate Warrior. Like these guys knew what they were, and they went with who they were.
Yeah.
And it worked. And the people who didn't know who they were or couldn't do any of the stuff, like let's say Hercules Hernandez or like the Warlord, they were just big brutes. You know what I'm saying? And like British Bulldog, he's a strong athletic guy, but outside of that, he's just a strong athletic guy with a dog that came down with the tag team, and people respected his athleticism.
Yeah.
Nowadays with the shift in culture, it's either you're gonna be the tough guy or the funny guy, because those two things get over no matter what.
Yeah.
Like Austin gets over no matter what. Santino Marella will get over no matter what. So if you're not legitimately a tough guy, you have to go into the comedy role now, because they're not gonna give you a chance to be an individual, at least in the WWE, because it has to fit their mold. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you think about it, like Roman Reigns right now is the tough guy, and that fits him because he got the charisma for it. But then you have other people like Seth Rollins. He can't be a tough guy. Not when he's wrestling Brock Lesnar, who's like 320 fucking pounds. So he's the comedian. He's the Joker with Kevin Owens. But then Bobby Lashley, he doesn't have the charisma to be that tough guy that can like out-talk you and like I got the biggest dick in the yard.
He isn't very funny either. He's just athletic.
Yeah, he's just the big brute. You know what I'm saying?
Big brute. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But outside of those, pretty much those three personas, you're not getting much nowadays.
Because man, they used to be
But
so much shit back in the day.
AEW got some funny characters. That's why I do.
Yeah. AEW.
I love Orange Cassidy.
Oh yeah. And that's
that right there. You know what he did, right? He took the Ryan Gosling character from Drive.
Yeah, pretty much. He pretty much took it and said, he just like
he channeled that character, and he was just like, you know what? I'm gonna be a wrestler. Just doesn't give a shit. That's that is the laziest.
Yep.
Wrestling with your hands in your pocket, but still wrestling.
But he's also the coolest to me. It's like,
yeah. But it's funny. It is to Cap's point is look. So look at Stone Cold, like perfect example. This is my favorite wrestler of all time. They told them you're never going to do WCW with your black boots, black trunks. You're never going to go anywhere. He goes, fine. I'm going to take what you said. I'm going to sell it to the top, and then you're going to go ahead and copy me, but with another dude that's bigger than me. You're going to make Goldberg out of exactly the image that I have. So
basically,
what was I able to do? Again, say it again. What? You know what I'm saying? I
miss Goldberg. I miss the spear.
Everybody loved me. Yeah. Oh, I mean, he got a match recently.
I remember people always compare Stone Cold to Goldberg. Stone Cold to Goldberg.
Yeah.
And it was
Goldberg was huge, but Stone Cold sold it more. The charisma, the in your face, that freaking attitude.
Yeah, man.
Like you got home from work,
I love it
and you saw Stone Cold. You're like, yes.
He's kicking his boss's ass. Who doesn't want to do that? Who didn't want to do that? You're fucking up your boss.
I go back and forth of favorite wrestlers of all time, and there's a top 3 or whatnot. But like, I always wrestle between the Heartbreak Kid, of course, and Stone Cold. And it's like, I feel Stone Cold is a better overall, but I really was a fan of the Heartbreak Kid, bro. It's just like it's like whenever he would come out and you just hear the women moaning. Like it was like if you wanted to be that, I wanted to come into the classroom and hear women, you know what I'm saying? I wanted that.
I want to tell you, my cousin looked like Shawn Michaels, and at the time I was shaving my head.
Yeah.
So I looked a little like Austin.
Yeah.
We had like real beef in the house over this because of this WrestleMania is coming up. So my cousin was like Shawn Michaels. We had a basketball hoop in front of our house, and he'd come out and let his hair out, and the girls would be like, "Oh my god!" Like all over my cousin. And I'm like, "What? Funny, he ain't nothing. Like, it smells like shit." Like,
you can't shoot.
Yeah, I can completely.
Like we just rank on each other all the damn time.
I remember first time I shaved my head, and everybody's like, "Yo, you kind of look like." I know anybody who's bald with a goatee. Yeah, you know, like Stone Cold. Like Vin Diesel. Start running the bald guys down. Give me the number.
I'm saying though, Vin Diesel was like,
no, it was
like that was specific though. You had the whole Vin Diesel shit going on.
You know what's hilarious about it? And because he had done Pitch Black, right? So he had no hair. Then I find a girl like a little beard, my goatee, and then he does a man apart, and I'm like, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
With all due respect, I did love it because for some reason, older girls love Vin Diesel, and he did get me laid. That look got me laid.
Yeah.
Yo, like you know what you look like? I don't care. Let's do this. It's a man. Don't name him. So yeah,
you did get that a lot. You would get it a lot. Like there was times where like we were together, but like Vin Diesel. Yeah. It happened. It happened.
Absolutely. But like I said, I wasn't mad at it because it works. It works. You're like, cool.
It works.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're like, I need the practice. Like
for real.
Now, all right, we definitely go off topic a lot, but let's try to go back. Now, this is every person who draws comics here or who comes on, we had another person come on before. This is the one question that we always got to ask, are you Marvel or DC? Getting DC vibes. And you can talk early Marvel DC and current Marvel DC because the story's different. So, ooh, he's thinking about it too.
All right. If I would say today, I like DC's The Dark Knight's Metal.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, nice.
Really like that metal. Because I love Greg Capullo.
Mm-hmm.
To me, anything Greg Capullo touches, his pacing, his storytelling. He just adds flavor all the time to his stuff. Where I gotta look back at a lot of stuff that he draws, and I always see something new or I'll find something new, and I'm like, what the fuck? How do you do that? Like, he always amazes me. Have you ever seen The Court of Owls or read The Court of Owls?
Course, yes. Great story, amazing.
Listen, I was overseas when I read that. When I read that shit blew my mind, and then I was very close on the brink to just going to school at that moment.
Yeah,
like just I was like inching my way more and more. Then I read Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. I read that, and I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
So nowadays it's DC mostly.
DC,
What about then?
But I want to say I'm more into like the off kilter kind of books. Now, like I don't jump into Marvel or DC as much or as common as I used to. Like,
of course.
I'm really into Eric Powell, Goon. You ever read The Goon?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Or Hillbilly. Those Eric Powell it's a different world. Like he really captures this horror and comedy duo that not everybody could do it. Not everybody can freaking put that stuff together or do the reference. I don't know. It feels like a 1950s film. Like it feels.
I mean, if there was one comic you could do, draw a pen. Like nobody can tell you anything, but you have complete control of the character, or maybe 2 or 3.
What was that again?
Now my question is, if you could do any character and you have complete control, like you're doing the Sabu thing, like you have complete control of you can do whatever you want, any storyline, you can make whatever you want up.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now.
The question is, give me at least 2.
Yeah,
2.
Just at least 2, and they could be both DC or one DC, one Marvel, but that nobody can tell you shit. This is you doing the version you want of that character.
I would go with Plastic Man as my number 2.
Whoa!
Yes.
Just because you can't tell me what to do. Like
yeah.
I can make whatever shape I want.
There will be some antics. Yeah, there will be some antics.
Like, and but I had already had an idea for Joker in my mind. Because I had to do The Shining as a comic for school.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So I kept on drawing Jack Nicholson, and he's turning from Jack Nicholson, and then as the comic's going on, he's turned into the Joker. Like that's what it's basically turning.
Okay.
And his face was getting like creepier and creepier as the comic goes. Let me actually. I think I got one. I know I had one close by. Oh, here.
Whoa. This is intense. I want to see this.
So this was The Shining.
Oh wow!
Yep.
Damn, that's good.
Oh, shit, man. That's dope.
I don't know if you remember the scene with the bear.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that scene creeped me out so much. And I had to like dissect this movie. And I was psychologically getting messed up dissecting this freaking film.
Look at this. Oh my God.
This is the back. And my little inside joke is the bear scene right here in the back.
Yo.
My pop saw that, he was cracking up.
That's fun though, because it appears to me that you could just take anything and just wild out with it.
Yeah, like create your own world. That's how I feel. I feel like if you could make a movie and you had an endless budget, right? That's comics.
Yeah.
If you had a series, a TV show idea, that's comics. Like if you had the best writer and the best artist combine forces, like that's what that is. But yeah, that's how I started the freaking. Just a little. That's college shit.
Yeah, that's dope. Do you model your drawings behind somebody? Like, you try to, like, artists inspired you, and then you try to draw like them, and then you develop your own way, or? Yeah,
like, I was real inspired by Mazzucchelli, my professor.
Mm-hmm.
Nelson DeCastro, that was another one of my teachers. He worked for Marvel and worked for DC. Bachman, he worked for heavy metal. But these are the people who taught me in college. But Frank Miller, his Sin City.
Oof.
I could. Frank Miller, he knows anatomy, but like distorts it just a way to give more of a feel.
Yeah.
So like Marv, right?
Marv, yeah, I was just thinking Marv. Yep,
100%.
He like it's
disproportionately big.
Right. It's also like he said, all right, he took a piece of the Hulk, he took a piece of Frankenstein and then like mushed it and said like we all know somebody like this, like and created this like I want to say barroom stories, like kind of reminds me of Snatch.
Love that movie.
Great movie.
Right.
Great
oh
movie.
my god, I love Guy Ritchie films.
My favorite quote of all time: "Never underestimate the predictability of stupidity." When you're giving someone an address and you say, "Yo, everyone messes up here, not the blue house, the red one." Never underestimate how badly they can mess that up. They will, they can, and they will. My favorite of all time, Bullet Bill.
Freaking you Roller?
Huh? You kind of cut off there for a second.
I said
Rock and Roller.
You ever see the film Rock and Roller?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the first time we've seen you really see Gerard Butler like like doing his thing. Yeah, no, it's a great movie. Yeah, another Guy Ritchie classic.
So I'm gonna let you guys in on my what I'm doing now, what I started creating. The project I'm working on now is me if I was a wrestler. So I'm kind of like, so that's why I created Chris the Crazy Cartoonist, Crazy Chris. Yeah. I could picture people going crazy Chris, right?
Okay.
That's just me like amping myself up.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like drawing out and trying to like journal me and my wife's like escapades and shit, like argument, just everyday life.
Yeah.
And bullshit. But here's what I drew for if I was a wrestler. So this will be the title. It's gonna be called Wrestling with My Demons.
Love the stash. Man, that's a good title.
That is.
Yeah, that's
a
I
really good title.
Fell in love with the name.
Yeah, that's a really good title.
I did this
that Bronson feel. When you look at kind of guys that
Thank
Bronson.
You, yo. Yeah, that's where I got the idea. That's where I was
seen it,
trying to mimic this alter ego, try to pull that Charlie Bronson.
Yeah.
Yep.
That like just that feeling of like no holds bar, freaking grit.
Like, dude,
yeah. So I'm gonna put who I am, but then who I think I am, or who I want to be like, or what I want to be like. Like kind of like merge the two between ego and confidence of. Mm-hmm. But the whole title before Moxley freaking came out, it was when came back from rehab. John Moxley, before he did that.
Oh yeah.
I made that, and I had that idea of like everybody always has inner demons and inner battles, because that's probably like that's everybody's number one enemy.
Serious.
Right? It's themselves.
Yep.
So I thought through that title I could constantly change the main characters and then intertwine it kind of like a Guy Ritchie film with a trial.
It's funny, it goes back to the whole wrestling trope. As you see someone involved through the pages that you're gonna do yourself, you're gonna see them change, battle everything they got to do. So that's dope, man.
Yeah,
I'm with that.
I think it's wild when you see comic artists evolve as well. Like once you do one comic, you see the second one, they like instantly evolve because they pick up new things within their style or what works for them. So like it's pretty cool seeing that evolution.
So what's like, this is another question that I like to ask the guests, especially people who come through and they're drawing, like what's the I mean, obviously the end goal is to have your comics everywhere, but if there's like one main thing that you'd like to do, maybe someone you like to work with, or maybe something you'd like to explore, what is the one thing, what is the one goal that you want to like reach out of what you're doing now?
My number one goal is just to have this as my main source of income and to just keep it as passionate as I did my first day. Like every day I'm trying to beat myself from yesterday. You know, I'm trying to outdo whatever I did the day prior. So like I work doing commercial moving.
Okay.
At the moment. So like I had to go back into that after college. But damn, that GI Bill from the Army, that's gotta be the most beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to say that going through the Army was so well worth it to be taught by Mazzucchelli and just going to SVA. Like I wouldn't have been able to afford that school.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess the main goal, I want to have it as my source of income, but I think besides all that, I'm pretty happy with just creating and just finding this path of creating comics.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, like Nas said, if you're real about it, you do it for free, right?
Yeah.
So I remember just having that eureka moment of like, if I was to go to school, what would it be for? And just going like cartooning. Like I just thought hard about it, looking up schools, and then I saw there was only 2 cartooning schools, 2 or 3, and I was like, that's it. I gotta go to the school. That's where I transition. That's where I pivot.
Cool. Any kind of like a dream tag team or like a matchup? Someone you'd like to work with, like your dream. I know you mentioned a couple people now, writers and people who inspired you and stuff, but like who would you want to like work with and potentially like do a comic book with?
I would love if Image Comics or Dark Horse or
Dark Horse specifically.
Because I've been sending these submissions. This is another thing. I think this isn't just with comics, but I think if anybody takes failure, that you just gotta accept it as part of the process. For
sure.
And not get so rejected and ejected from it. Because I know that shit was happening to me when I first was trying out for this school. I got rejected, and it wasn't even because of my portfolio. But I thought in my psyche right away, like, oh, it's my portfolio. Fucking, it wasn't good enough. When it was my GPA from like high school.
Okay.
Okay.
So my shit from high school was like 10 years. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? You're looking at my shit from 10 years ago?
For real.
They take any excuse, bro. You was late in pre-K. We can't have you.
Like to get into that school, I was studying my ass off for SATs. I was freaking really, really going hard, like trying to get it, and I thought that's what.
Damn.
It wasn't.
So don't get discouraged. Definitely.
Yeah, like
can't take rejection personal. You know what I mean? Just gotta keep rolling with it. Rolling with the punches, man.
Yep.
Sometimes life tests you to see if this is what you really want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
He got something like 300 rejections in 1 year.
Damn.
And he kept most of them. Like he said, these are the guys that got back to me. Like, and he said that whenever anybody asked what was his secret to getting it in, and he said, I just wore them out.
Just kept, someone is gonna have to hear me out, bro. Someone's gonna have to listen to me.
Yeah, right. Once.
Because
I need one yes.
Yeah. It's to be honest with you, it's kind of like wrestling. Because in wrestling, a bad reaction or a good reaction is a reaction. That's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing you don't want is silence.
Yeah.
So when you're emailing people, like I email people to come on the different podcasts, when they don't reply, it's like horrible. But when someone does reply, whether it's to reject me or not, it's like, thank you.
I appreciate you taking the time.
To me,
I appreciate you taking the time.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for telling me to fuck off, but at least you told me to fuck off.
Yeah.
Or like tell me the reasons why, like so I can work on it.
Yeah, right. Shit.
Is there anything related to like drawing You know, maybe like a cartoon, or maybe going into film production, something like that you ever thought of? I know you mentioned, you know, potentially doing a movie or something like that.
No, I would love for that Bob Ross to freaking be an animation.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I'm ready to go up against Rick and Morty right now with this.
Yo, for real.
That's what I'm saying, like a cartoon.
The way I drew it out, man, and the plans that I have for it, like I want it to be 3 chapters. And I want him to go, chapter 2, I'll just say I want him to go into Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just go everywhere.
I did not see that coming at
like
all.
Go into Sesame Street. So like that scene.
Big Bird.
That scene from The Wire with homie, I forget his name, that he's just walking. It's just Bob Ross in a trench coat walking down, and you hear the whistle. You hear the whistle, and he just goes to Sesame Street and just bap, 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 pop it. Yo, that is
Elmo running, run. It's
Bob Ross is here. We gotta go.
Yes.
Yeah, to expand on that movie thing, I wanted to ask you, who played, like, let's say they made a movie of your wrestling character, Wrestling with My Demons, and the Sabu comic that you made. Who would you cast to play Sabu, and who would you cast to play you?
That's great.
In a movie.
That's difficult. That's difficult.
That's a great question.
Who to play me? God damn.
You can pick anybody.
Anybody.
Oh, I guess if I pick anybody, then Tom Hardy.
Okay,
that's it. Yo,
what's funny? That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking Tom Hardy.
He played Bronson.
Yeah.
So you know
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's not gonna be a stretch.
Bro,
Yeah.
I feel like whenever you ask anybody, yo, who would play that? Tom Hardy. Yo, who would be Wolverine of Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Yo, if we're
Who
gonna
would play Malcolm X? Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. But he's supposed to. No, Tom Hardy.
With some glasses on him, you'll never know the difference.
You're like,
Dye his hair red.
Yeah.
That's it.
Same guy.
It's a Tom Hardy is such a, you know, he's expressive with motion more than anything.
Yes.
Yo, I swear to God, in Mad Max he says 3 things
at the right moment.
Yeah. In Mad Max he says 3 things.
Yeah.
I mean that's you know, an homage to the original Mad Max. But like, yeah, I think he has no lines, like 16 lines the whole thing.
Yeah. He got the Arnold.
That was such a gorgeous movie.
Like, here, you're good.
Actually, yo,
did you see it in black and white? Did you see it in black and white?
Black and white Mad Max?
Yo,
a Fury Road?
Yeah. So when they released it in theaters in black and white, and it was literally for like a week. So my friends and I were like, we had nothing to do, and I think we were gonna go watch a movie. We watched the movie, and then we snuck into Mad Max black and white. Sick.
What?
I was like, yeah, you can look it up right now.
Yo,
Mad Max Fury Road, black and white. It's so good.
See this in black and white, because
yeah, man. Fury Road, black and white.
The creation of that, you know, most of it wasn't written. A lot of it was drawn out.
Yeah.
You gotta look at the art to that too. The art to Fury Road.
I actually seen some of the. So I was weirdly into Mad Max Fury Road. Weirdly into that movie. So I saw some of the concept art for it. Sick. Look at some of that Mad Max concept art. It's so good, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The way they more movies should take that freedom of drawing out the script, not writing it completely out, but certain things, as soon as you see it, you get it. You know what it is. You're like, okay, this is supposed to look like this. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts, like in between.
It's funny, when I was younger and I saw the first Mad Max, I was like, I don't know who this crazy Ozzy is, but I'm with it. Because he literally went from just being an honest cop, family man,
yeah,
and left. And then part 2, I skipped part 3 with Tina Turner because I got weird, right? But you see in the movie, you're like, yo, I can see the world being like that. You can easily, and especially in the 80s where she was going left, you're like, that can happen. That can happen tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
You see that every year, at least once a year. You think about it, you're like, this can go south quick, man.
Yeah. But props to the director for practical stunts. just like the dude swinging on the
dude
like,
swinging. Yo, the concept art for the vehicles with the little poles swinging, serious. I think that was like
ridiculous.
Yeah. And I mean that whole that shit was like an hour action scene.
You know what I love? It reminds me of Heavy Metal magazine.
Yeah.
It was Heavy Metal
the entire time.
I'm like, why can't there be more of this? Like, why? Why is it
but I'm like, yo, why do we need a guitarist? He's not accomplishing anything right now.
For added effect. Yeah. He was literally there. It's like back in the day, you know, when you go into war, you have the drummer.
That's true.
They just have somebody rocking out flames everywhere. I actually played the video game for Mad Max, the one that just came out recently. So it's not the greatest, but they have some like cool car combat and like creating your car, like souping up the car. It's super fun. Now, it's funny that you mentioned the time period because, you know, a lot of people do post-apocalyptic stuff and you know what I'm saying? I'm actually playing a video game now. It's an older game, but this fucking game mixes like 3 different genres. It mixes cyberpunk, post-apocalyptic, and medieval all in one. Like shit is like, yo, so you have robots walking through like ramparts. And like you just see, and they're just like glowing crazy technology. It's insane. I like that kind of weird shit. Like, let's go crazy. That's why Mad Max is so good. Like, there was no thinking about that movie. You could say, look, we know what we're doing. Like, I don't even call it. I almost feel like that's like a remake of like Road Warrior. It's almost like a remake.
Yes.
I think it's a Road Warrior.
Yeah, because
like he shows up. He does what he has to do and just keeps it moving. There's nothing to this man's story. Like
in the beginning of the Bob Ross comic, I freaking show that the world is in shit and they need the psychedelic warrior.
The psychedelic warrior. My man's just popping weed like fucking Popeye does a spinach. That's so good.
And I'm like, I gotta draw this right now.
That's dope. That's dope, man.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually with you. I'm actually with you, Chris. Like, out of all the shit to pop off that you're doing, I kind of want that Bob Ross too, bro. I want that to go off.
I want to see Bob Ross like they have Invincible. I want to see that like Invincible on Prime Video. I want to be like, yo, I know where that started. That dude was high as fuck. I want to see that. Bob Ross he literally goes from painting. He comes outside and the gat is like the gear is waiting for him on his bike. He's like, oh, it's about to go down.
Yeah. You got fucking Bob Ross doing the shotgun Terminator 2 flip. That's actually a really funny idea, kid.
It's such like it writes itself.
It really does, man.
So, I'm telling you,
weirdly, it really does.
Each page was just coming out of my freaking hands like
Bob Ross, the psychedelic warrior, bro. That's so good.
When you say the thing about
you wouldn't pick that up like
being in the service,
graphic novel. You would.
When it says the service thing, it kind of links everything up that he was in the service. You're like, it's plausible.
Yes,
Bob Ross served. So you're like, he could get away with this.
Like he definitely knows how to handle a firearm. Like
absolutely
right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do that classic John Wick kind of like story. This is a guy who's peaceful.
Yep.
He doesn't want to go back. He doesn't want to be his old self. Like he's telling them.
Like, so that's what I got. Shit. No, but that's what I got. That's what I got from the front of the picture with the motorcycle. It's like this old cowboy back for one last rodeo. That's what I got from that picture. So I was like, yes, like it really works. That is really funny idea.
As it goes down the road, he becomes more and more like Clint Eastwood. Yeah. I'm looking more and more at Clint Eastwood stuff and expressions. And
so you got that spaghetti western stuff going, right? Spaghetti western stuff, the good, the bad, and the ugly and stuff like that.
Oh,
the man with no name, you know.
Matter of fact, you ever see the Johnny Depp film Dead Man?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you have the black and white film. I saw that in a film class, and that blew my mind. That blew my mind because of the way the storytelling was and just the lighting, it was just freaking awesome to me.
I kind of saw that, and I thought of you remember The Way of the Gun with Benicio del Toro and Ryan Phillippe? You remember that one?
Yes.
You kind of see, you can, if they would have made that in black and white, The Way of the Gun, it would have been way more successful. Because the way that movie starts is, you know what I mean? But it's like you can see that with the Johnny Depp movie, you can see that too. You're like, all right, I see somebody saw the same movie. You saw that movie, and you made this movie. That clearly happened. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But I love that.
Yeah.
I love how art influences more of the same. Like you use the same composition. You do a montage. You gotta steal like an artist, so you take from multiple things, and then it's original. Yeah. If you just take from one artist, now you're plagiarism.
Now it's plagiarism. Yeah.
But if you do like Quentin Tarantino, right? Take from here, take from there, take from there. I'll make my own shit.
Yep.
So who would you have play Sabu?
Damn, that's hard. That's very hard. Because I don't know of another Sabu. Like
who'd be the closest? Yeah.
It'd have to be somebody who's gonna thrash their body like him. Like, can you name any?
The only person that doesn't care about their life is Tom Cruise right now.
What's
the only person that doesn't care about his life? He's doing crazy stunts and like he's completely not about his life anymore. He's like, oh, you want to go ahead? You want to help Death?
Tom Cruise playing Sabu. Yeah.
What's my motivation? You're out of your fucking mind.
The minute that would play out, you'd be like,
yourself.
It'll be the dude from Eternals that did Kango. Yeah. It'll be the dude from Eternals.
I'll go with that one.
He got ripped. He got ripped for that. But
again, but Sabu wasn't ripped like that.
Nah, yeah. He
was physically ripped up.
He was scarred. He's scarred.
Yeah. I will never forget. I was there for when Sabu versus Rey Mysterio and
ECW One Night Stand.
That ECW event.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Was it One Night Stand?
Yes. Yeah.
Man, that match, I thought Rey Mysterio and Sabu both died.
Yes. They spot through the table,
screaming at the top of my lungs, like, we just witnessed a murder. Oh my God. Because he ran off a chair, jumped off the top rope in the middle, and Rey Mysterio is just right there and takes the DDT through the table onto the concrete. And it just looked insane. That's how the match ended.
Yeah.
Who comes over and says, "That's it, no more." This dorky ass character with a bow tie.
And it's crazy because in the beginning of that match they booed Ray because Ray was a WWE guy because he left ECW. Yeah, and then once he did that, everybody was like, "Oh, this is awesome! We love you, Ray."
Meanwhile, Ray is literally one of the originals before he became ECW. Ray was there before that. When it was wrestling.
He's an original.
He was first, he was a cruiserweight that started shit, and he was like 15. He was like 15 when he started.
That's crazy.
I mean, he looks 15 now.
So crazy, thinking about that.
Yeah, kid is 15. Pro wrestler. You're like
him in Psychosis.
Yeah, you're like
ECW.
Is your parent with you? Are you alone?
Some Spider-Man shit, bro.
That was because of his uncle.
Absolutely,
the original Rey Mysterio.
Yes, and
remember he was Rey Mysterio Jr.
Yeah, because he surpassed his uncle in so many ways.
Oh yeah,
props to Ray, man. But yeah,
I remember seeing that match and just thinking, oh man, I hope RVD and Cena they could surpass this shit. And the amount of electricity, the amount of just that sign in the balcony that says if Cena wins, we riot. 110% true.
Oh yeah.
that if Cena would have won, that crowd was definitely gonna riot.
Somebody was dying that night.
Yes.
Yeah.
For every time it got close with the 2 count, I was like, oh my God, I really hope Cena don't win. Oh my God, I hope to make it out of here alive. Like,
yo, this is the same crowd that threw their own chairs in the ring. Like, they buried wrestlers in chairs. Like, the entire stadium just threw their shit in the ring. Then they broke the ring because they all got it. Like, all the fans got in the ring and started jumping on the shit, destroyed the ring.
I remember by the end of that night, it was completely smoked out. That whole top area, the balcony area, was completely smoked out.
Everybody having a good old time.
And I was like, I was like, what was I, like 16 or 17, something like that. I was a teenager when I fucking saw that.
The good old days of wrestling.
This is true. The sign is how Toe Tag lives his life. Toe Tag is not the biggest John Cena fan.
I hate John Cena.
Hold up. I said that wrong. He fucking hates John Cena.
Yeah. You did.
I hated him for a very long time. I think I just like, the athleticism. But
you activated the trap card.
Cena's such a good heel. He's such a good heel because I like really feel that hate for him.
Yeah.
So I gotta respect that.
Brother, it's not even an energy. It's not a vibe. It's like a statement. You know what I mean? Like it's.
I got a funny.
At this point, it's a fact.
I got a funny story because I did meet Cena one time in the airport with Sheamus, and me and my wife were at the airport, and I just got home from some training, and me and my wife were at the airport Subway, the sandwich shop, and the dude who's gonna take our order, his jaw like just drops, and I'm like, what the fuck is he looking at? And then we look behind ourselves, and it's Cena and Sheamus on the line also. And then my wife doesn't know who this is, and I'm like, oh my God, that's John Cena.
Toe would have probably just looked back and gone.
So
I'd have been like, oh shit, that's Sheamus. Your ass gotta stop. Let me get my sandwich for you, bitch.
I was a little bit of a dick, accidentally, because I said to John Cena, I said, "Hey Cena, could you take a picture of me and Sheamus?"
Oh my, Jesus Christ, that's so
beautiful.
He looked at me like I fucking dissed him so hard.
So beautiful.
He was like, okay.
I feel better now. Come on.
Yeah. But yo, he would
snap that picture.
He would have to use someone else's phone. I'll be like, yo, Cena, take a picture of us with your fucking phone and send it to me. AirDrop. I don't want you touching my shit. Motherfucker. I seen how you take rock bottoms. I don't want to pick. I don't want to chance it with the fucking pictures. I don't want nothing too complicated for your ass.
Why is it that John Cena, besides the invisible thing, why has it become such a meme and like overall just like hated by everybody? I remember at one point people liked John Cena as a wrestler. What happened? Or was that never a thing?
Right, so take it away.
I can say for myself that I hated him for a long time, man.
So what happened? So tell me, what happened with Cena? I want to understand.
All right. So, Chris, if you want to explain, you can. But I'll give my little 2 cents here.
No, I want to hear. All right. I want to hear yours.
Now, I know a lot about this fucking guy because I know a lot about wrestling. So he started as the prototype in the WWE. He debuted against Kurt Angle in the Ruthless Aggression era and all that other shit. That character went nowhere fast. And he was about to get fired and he needed something to do. He started rapping in the back. Mm-hmm. And I think it was Stephanie McMahon was like, yo, that's a good character. You should do that. So that's when he became Thug Life, Master Thugonomics John Cena. Now, I enjoyed that version of John Cena because that was something different.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that was the culture back in the days.
Yeah.
And like, in all honesty, you wasn't gonna get somebody that serious as a colored person, you know, as a Spanish or as a black guy, that serious. And then to him repping that like hip hop and the culture we were, wearing the same shit we were, saying the same shit we were saying. It was dope. It was like, yo, this community is being represented somehow in wrestling. And also, like, he did something different. Remember how I told you had those 3 personas?
Yeah.
He was the 4th persona that was something different.
Yeah.
You know, and he was that guy. People loved him. And he pissed on the Undertaker's grave as he did shit that no one did before. And then as soon as he got into a movie, all of that stopped.
He came back after the Marine. He started, There
was no. It was that. Once he started doing the salute shit, I was like, "Get the fuck out of here with that, bro!"
He didn't even do
salute.
it right.
He doesn't know how to salute. Nothing.
He didn't know how to salute. I mean, you're gonna do it.
There was There was no transition period.
Yeah, it just went from Cena to the Marine.
Yep. It was I'm a be y'all and steal your culture until I make it, like every other white man. Mm-hmm. And then he made it, and boom, bye bitches. Now I'm wearing cargo pants and Kmart sneakers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He went from wearing jerseys and Jordans to Kmart sneakers and khaki shorts.
I would sometimes salute my lieutenant like that. I would do the fucking rundown. He hated that
Please
shit.
tell me after you do that, you started running. You do the
I would do a little bit of a run.
Like man, awkward.
And almost fall over.
I remember I seen him on the Best Damn Sports Show one time, and 50 was there, and he Cena like spit some bars for 50, and 50 was like, "Yo, that kid could actually spit." Like, I know the song is. I mean, I can't hear that John Cena song and not get excited. You know, it's hard not to. But like, yo, he can spit. Like, he has some stuff there. But yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I remember kind of like, even me as a someone observing wrestling way from the outside, I do remember this corny ass fucking that Marine persona that he undertook, and it was like, nah, you're right, man, damn. And then everybody started saying that they can't see him. That just became the joke.
But you know what's funny? Props to Cena for not taking that personal, and just like what we said, he was like, yo, I love the fact that people say that shit all the time. Like, on everybody's lips. Like, there's nobody not saying, who's Jimmy Fallon interviewing? There's nobody there. Who's he talking to? Meanwhile, he's in a peacemaker outfit.
Yeah, he's in a peacemaker outfit.
He's literally in gear, but like, who's he talking to?
Yeah. Because anything you say is a good reaction. If no one said anything, then there'll be a problem.
And it's good to have that perspective too, to think about that.
Eric Bischoff said, controversy creates cash, right?
Yep.
That's like that was one of his books. Good book, by the way. Get a chance to read it. But
what book was that?
Controversial.
Controversy makes cash.
Controversy creates cash. We either want to see him lose or want to see him win. Like, there's no in the middle. That's why you have Cena sucks. Let's go Cena. Like, the crowd is right down the middle.
And the crazy shit is, like, just like in business, when you're good to one person, they'll tell like 1 or 2 people. Mm-hmm. When you fuck somebody over, they'll tell the world. So like I'm pretty sure someone in the business told him like, yo, if they don't like you, you're gonna fly, because everyone's gonna hate you. Mm-hmm. If there's some people that like you, a little bit of people are gonna like you, but everyone's gonna hate you. And him never turning heel and keeping that babyface shit made it even worse. And that's when people started to be like, oh, it's cool to say Cena sucks. Like, people thought it was cool to say Kurt Angle sucked. But they only said Kurt Angle sucked because that was what the wrestlers said to him, and that was part of the gimmick, like the Burger King for Jerry King Lawler.
That was definitely
Cena sucked because we hated him.
Yeah.
And then it's just like the people that came in was like, oh, Cena, what? Fucking Cena sucks, and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to the point where, like, I had a kid. I went to a live event, and I'm screaming, Cena sucks. And then, like, this little kid was saying, let's go Cena. And he would look at me, and he stopped saying it.
Yeah.
And I turned around, I was like, yo, bro, don't let me stop you from cheering your guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason I don't like him, but there's a reason you do like him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I should not influence who you like and who you don't like. Like,
absolutely.
If Cena tells you never give up, don't let me stop you from cheering him. You know what I'm saying?
It appears like the fun thing to do to hate John Cena.
Yeah.
But
my
like
hatred is real.
I look at it now and I see that from the art perspective. So I see it more. The reason why I didn't like him at the moment is because I was just gravitating to different characters and just and different wrestlers. He didn't speak to me at that time. Like, if anything, when I would hear him rap, I would say, "Get this corny ass motherfucker on." Like, I would get mad when I heard him rap. And I'm like, hey,
I'm a Wu-Tang
like,
I don't hear this garbage.
It would just get me a little flustered.
But the funny thing is, I remember I said this in the wrestling thing, that at one point Roman Reigns was in his hometown of Pensacola, Florida, right? And they booed him. I said, now I'm a fan of his. Yeah, that's your guy. That guy is literally from your place. And you're gonna boo this motherfucker? I'm with him. Luckily, I timed it right where the next time he came back, he was the tribal chief. So it was like a good timing for me. But I was like, I remember this specifically because it was the paper we were watching it, and I'm telling my boys, "Oh, you gonna boo this? No, I'm with him. I'm with him. Don't boo you. You don't boo the guy from the home. You don't do that."
So is that what happened to Cena? That he kind of just became too much of a meme because everything, the John Cena, the invisibility, everything, he just became too popular, maybe.
Yeah. Well, for most people, that's what it was. But for me, honestly, and you can they can contest it. Is like, I'm the type of person that I want the best from anyone. Yeah. Even if your best isn't really that good, I want the best from you. Mm-hmm. And I see John Cena and he's wrestling, and like the quality of match he's putting is going down and down and down.
Well, he can't. He gotta preserve. He has to preserve himself for movies.
But I was gonna say overexposure is a thing as well.
Yeah.
He was saying with how athletic he was. I could say he was probably a very reliable wrestler that they counted on, right? They can.
Yeah, he only got hurt like twice.
They can constantly go out there, and that's a tough schedule.
The best
300 days out of the year, son.
The best.
That's a wild. Such a wild.
The best ability is availability.
Right.
That I'm stealing that. I'm stealing that.
The overexposure part, like let's say somebody like Undertaker was so good because he was only coming a certain amount of times of the year.
Yeah.
So that got you hyped for him, or when he just popped out of nowhere, you're like, oh my God, Undertaker's back. What?
Because when he came out, it was serious.
It was an event. It was an event.
Stone Cold. Like Stone Cold, whenever he disappeared, or any of your favorite wrestlers.
Yeah. That was the problem with Roman Reigns.
Your favorite wrestler pops up. Yeah, that is a problem. Yeah, that was a problem.
They forced.
He was getting forced. Yeah.
They kept on forcing, trying to do this, like, kind of like Rock. Kind of when Rock first came out.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
It was so good for them to flip that and let's turn the heel. You gotta do that. Yeah. Like, you gotta experiment.
No, for real. It's like yo, Cabs, you love Sancocho, right? But let's say your mom makes the best Sancocho you had.
She does.
And someone makes an okay Sancocho.
Oh, it's terrible.
But then you have to eat it every day.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And now you're looking at the Sancocho like, yo, fuck this shit, son.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then that stops, and now you have your mom Sancocho, and he's like, this is what I remember. This is what I grew up on. And that's wrestling. That's like a wrestling character for us.
Okay.
Yeah. You know?
I could say that happens with comedians.
True.
Expect them to be that person all the damn time.
Yeah.
And then some of them, like, lose themselves into that character.
Yeah.
And then nowadays you get canceled.
Absolutely. You can be honest.
Although Dave Chappelle seems to be unscathed, as he has announced 4 new specials on Netflix. Didn't work, cancel culture. Bye.
What you know why?
You made it. All you did was make him more money by making him infamous, as people would say.
You know why Dave Chappelle can't get canceled? Because he says what he says and he has the balls to stand by what he said.
Absolutely correct.
Unlike other people, you say this, they get mad and they go, "Oh, I'm sorry."
They apologize.
Yeah, that's where you get canceled. When you say I'm sorry, when you know for a fucking fact, this is what I believe and this is what the fuck I said, and I said it for a reason.
And it feels like everybody who like hates on Dave doesn't listen to the whole damn joke or hear the whole bit.
Absolutely.
Like, yo, watch the guy's stuff, man. Like
when he was talking about the thing with the transgender, he goes, yo, I literally was at a nightclub with a transgender the whole night, just talking, and literally told me, yo, thanks for normalizing us.
Yeah.
Yo, when a comedian makes fun of you, you're everybody else now.
Yeah.
You're literally everybody. From now on, you're everybody else.
I'll never forget.
Everybody gets made fun of somewhere. It doesn't matter where.
Yep.
We do it. You with your peoples. I'm pretty sure, Chris, you know what I'm saying? You joke on the boys.
When he told that story, I was like, oh, man, yo, that hurt. I was like,
yeah, it did. It did.
You could tell it hurt him too. Like he got emotional telling a lot of his stand up during that.
I'll never forget. I went to Houston to go and watch Andrew Schultz, and right up front, I'm talking about first row, there was a gentleman there. He was like missing his like legs, and he was on a wheelchair, and he was just there chilling front row. If you go to a comedy show and you front row,
oh yeah,
you know what can happen. So Andrew Schultz went straight to him, and he goes, "Man, you just look like the cutest little chicken nugget I ever seen in my life." You know what I'm saying? And but homie appreciated that. Like, bro, you treated me like everyone else in here. The whole front row got it. You came up to me and you didn't even bat an eye. You made fun of me, but you made me feel comfortable about my situation. I'm everybody. I'm one of the guys now. I'm one of the audience members. So it's like,
that's cool.
A lot of the people that get mad at these jokes, they ain't even joking about you, bro. Like,
yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
Why are you like, yo, bro? I have known so many people with like, handicaps and stuff like that, and like try to like grab something for them. Like, oh, I got you. Like, no, bro, I'm good. I can get this. Like,
absolutely.
It's the way you perceive it that's wrong here. You're perceiving them as like helpless, and it's like, nah, bro. Yo, there's so many amazing people nowadays that do such crazy things. Y'all seen little Spanish boy that's playing ball with one arm?
Yep.
One arm. Yo, but yamming on dudes. I'm talking about and then he gets hyped. He gets hyped and goes up to you. Like, what's up? And it's like, okay, bro, chill.
Funny, there's an MMA fighter with one arm.
Yeah, bro. Like,
you're
perceiving. You're perceiving
wrestling with one leg.
Yeah, Zach Gowen.
Zach Gowen.
I would never forget Zach Gowen. Yeah, he busted Vince McMahon wide open with that chair.
That shit was hilarious, son.
Yo,
first of all, it wasn't planned, and he caught him.
Seeing all the stuff he was doing.
Yeah,
man. But that's the thing is, when you have someone that normalizes people that are not seem normal, or they're outcasts or whatever, normal society sees them another way. But this dude is like, yo, I'm making fun of everybody. I don't give a fuck. Richard Pryor did that for years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Red Fox did that for years.
Yeah.
Eddie did that for years. It didn't matter. Yo, you had whatever, cancer, AIDS, or whatever. He's like, yo, I don't give a shit. But the thing is, you have to understand is this is a joke. I want you to feel like no matter why you're here, dude, you're just one of us. You're like everybody else in here, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just one of you.
What I don't get
her.
Is the minute somebody steps on that stage, just the fact that somebody's a comedian, they should be allowed to go and say whatever the heck they're gonna say. Like
anything goes.
Platform.
Yeah, this shit ain't serious.
Yeah, it's comedy, bro.
That whole platform.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is Bill Burr when he goes, I'm not saying you should hit women, but I'm saying, can Louise talk about it?
Yeah.
I'm not talking to hit women. Listen, you see how what's so quiet in here?
Yo,
Yeah.
Bill Burr says,
like,
"Why is it
you
so
can't say
quiet
there's
here?"
No reason.
Yeah.
I can give you 15 reasons right now. But I'm not saying you should.
I can give you 9 of a drunken stoop.
I love that.
Like,
He has Bill Burr has that at least twice a comedy bit, bro. A comedy show. Like he is. Why is it so quiet in here? It's incredible.
And the funny thing is, then the timing was perfect. That he was like, listen to what he says. What are you talking about? Are you the idiot that got up during the special that you're not the reason I'm filming this? That's another reason to hit you. You see what I'm saying? It right to South, guys. You're seeing this right now, right? That's what I'm saying. It's like
it's comedy, man. It's comedy.
Listen.
Bill Burr, Doug Stanhope.
It's not about that life. I'm just saying.
After 9/11. After 9/11, Doug Stanhope was not allowed on so many stage for months after, because he was gonna say a 9/11 joke.
Shit.
That's what Doug Stanhope was freaking. He's funny as hell. He's edgy. He's a comedian's comedian.
Yeah,
how they always.
That was Patrice O'Neal. That was Patrice O'Neal too. The whole way, God rest his soul. Patrice O'Neal. That was him. Patrice O'Neal was the guy who listen, I don't care if you don't like this. If you don't like it, you came to the wrong show. You didn't see the mark. You said Patrice O'Neal.
The shit that he would say about women.
Like he would make fun of Kevin Hart all the time. He'd be like, listen, here's a dictionary. There's something funny in there than what the shit you just did on that stage.
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to Opie Anthony?
Who?
Opie Anthony back in the day?
Yeah, when he's talking about women and
it would be Patrice O'Neal. Doug Stanhope, I think, would be on there from time to time.
You had
and Bill Burr at one point.
You had
talking about Patrice O'Neal.
The dude that was on SNL for a minute.
Can't believe the women he gets.
yeah. Like you would walk in and Patrice goes, "This motherfucker's here." And the funny thing is, that's all he said, and already you're like, "Damn, this nigga, he hates me."
Yeah.
Patrice is like, "No, not really. I'm just fucking with you, bro. I'm just gonna mess with you a little bit." You know what I'm saying? It's hilarious, bro. But that's what I'm saying. Is like you go to a comedy show, you expect to hear some shit out of left, or you hope you do at least. I do.
Yeah,
some shit out of left field, always.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it's like, I can't talk about anything. That's what the fuck's source material, bro? I need to be able to say something on that stage. I'm in there for 45 minutes, bro. Give me something to talk about.
It's hard to write jokes. Hard to write jokes.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I cannot imagine what it's like to first be on that stage with people looking at you and being that good at it, but then to have like your source material cut in half.
Yeah.
But the greats don't give a fuck, so they just keep going. George Carlin didn't give a fuck.
And the way people think, they want that instant funny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, haha, tell me another joke. Now tell me another joke. Tell me another. Hey.
I was talking about that.
There's a comedian who's like that. I forget.
I know people nowadays who would never appreciate George Carlin.
Oh,
because it's honest, it's political, but also his timing was perfect. And then when he goes on those rants, where he's like, "Catch up, you're with me, yo. If I lose you, that's you, bro."
I got him.
He just came up on my Pandora. I got him on there. And
you know who's
he starts dissing golf, and I hate golf. So when he mentions golf is just as boring as watching two flies fuck. He's like, if you can gather up a bunch of people to waste a beautiful day on this bullshit. I love that. When he starts talking about that, and he starts talking about suicides, and he talks about how interesting suicide is to him, and how you can have a whole reality channel of people committing suicide and people volunteering to be on this channel. I'm like, God dang, he is pretty much on the money.
Edgy. Do you know someone who does that kind of like joke after joke type of comedy bits? Anthony Jeselnik.
I love that dude. His dark comedy is great.
He is dark. He has the one Fire in the Maternity Ward.
I love the way he tells that.
You seen his special in Chicago where he does a rape joke and a girl says, and he goes, "That's the first rape joke. There's two more."
Yeah.
And he goes, "2 more rape jokes."
Yeah.
And he just like he completely understands that you're in my house. You've come to see me. you're going nowhere. And if you leave, I'm still getting paid.
Yeah.
See, I mean, he looked at the girl, he goes up. 2 more little jokes. Just to let you know, this isn't going anywhere but down. Like, I'm gonna be disrespectful. Oh man, his setup too is so cold-blooded. Like it's like,
yes.
It's like, it's like there's nothing. He's not
like
reacting
he knows
to you.
he's gonna say
or you're
some
like,
really
you
fucked
don't
up
like
shit.
that? You don't like that?
He definitely knows
it's gonna get worse. Buck up. I'm going dark.
Just getting started.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you see, that's the kind of comedy that I appreciate, where the guy realizes I own this area tonight, and you just get ready. That's it.
Yeah.
Get ready for it, bro. You may not like it, but you know what's funny? You're gonna laugh, and what does that say about you? And I know that's what Anthony's thinking. You're laughing like, oh, that's fucked up, but you're laughing. It's like what Eminem said. He goes, yo, I do my lyrics, but y'all are enjoying it.
It feels like though he's ultimately entertaining himself. If you're entertaining yourself, you're like, all right, I'm willing to lose all of you to gain one of you.
Yeah.
Yo, for real. It was like Bernie Mac when he stepped on stage. He was like, "Fuck all y'all motherfuckers. I ain't scared of none of you bitches." The first thing he said was "Fuck all y'all."
And it was an amazing comedy bit after that. Like,
yep.
He could have said whatever, and I think it would have still stuck. Just the way he's like, and you know the story. Apparently, the person behind him got booed or whatever. So then he came out on stage and was like, "Yo, I ain't scared of none of y'all. First and foremost, I'm just gonna tell you that right now." And then he started playing the music, and then he had Kid Capri up there. It was probably my favorite comedy skit of all time. It was so good.
Yeah. Fearless. You got to go up there.
We've been going for a little while, and I want two things. So, Crazy Chris, the cartoonist, I do have a question about the current state of comic books and Marvel and all of that. Are you into the MCU at all? Do you watch the movies? Or are you a DC guy? You're into, are you doing things like that nowadays? Like how into the movies, the DC universe and the MCU, how into it are you? It's okay if you're not.
Right now, I want to see the latest Batman. Because that looks really good to me.
It looks super dark.
Yes, I love
so dark. We need dark.
It looks like 7.
Yeah.
It feels a lot darker. They're really going down that realm that I think going back, like it just feels like it's a 90s film. The way it's shot too in certain scenes, I'm like, damn, this really looks really good to me. Even though when I heard that the dude was playing him from Twilight, man, when I first heard that,
I did the same thing, brother.
I was like, no way, they're gonna fuck this up.
They put me on with an interview to him, and the way he is, introducing this character or reintroducing this character to all of us kind of made me feel a little bit more comfortable. So this is year 2. They said it. We're not doing origins. We're not talking about it. Obviously, we're gonna talk about their parents. He's like, yeah, obviously we're gonna mention the parents, but we're not doing it. But Pattinson was like, yo, look, at the end of the day, like, Batman story is kind of sad. It really is. And they're exploring that darkness and that sadness, which is a good start. You can still fuck up a movie, so I'm not gonna get too excited, but I did like hearing him say that.
The funny part is I took remember Heath Ledger and the James Bond, Daniel Craig. I took that with it. That green, you know what I mean? I was Daniel Craig is James Bond. I was like, Bond, what the fuck? All of a sudden, because I read the book, and then I see Casino Royale, I go, okay, yes, I'm with it. That's where we're going. Do it. Then Heath Ledger, you're like, Brokeback Mountain?
Legendary performance.
You're like, I got these scars.
Yeah.
All right.
Like Chris Evans is
I think whenever it touches on the Crow, like this one here looks a little like it's touching going toward that Crow. That
very City of Angels. City of Angels vibe. Yeah.
City of that emo, like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going in that realm.
Absolutely. It's my favorite movie of all time. That's why when The Crow, I had my favorite movie of all time. That's why I was like, it looks really familiar to me. Like the way, you know what I'm saying? You're looking at it like, okay, I get it. A little emo, I'll take it.
Yeah, that Clockwork Orange. I think you touched Clockwork Orange, the
Dark
Crow.
City.
It's like you mush that with Batman, and you got magic. Like that to me. I don't think it's gonna look though like it feels like it's almost coming off of the Christian Bale Batman. Like it feels like it's coming off, but not being exactly like that. Like
ramp up the dark. It was dark. It was dark, but let's ramp it up.
Especially with DC, I feel like whenever they lean toward the dark side, get in, like don't try to be like Marvel.
Yeah, we say
Marvel
all the time.
does the campy jokes. It's more family oriented. DC, you keep it a little dark, kind of like how Joker was. You go down that rabbit hole, and it brings the characters, I think, more relatable, more to life. Like, and you're apart from your opponent. Like, what the hell? Don't be like your opponent.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
So then, what do you think about Marvel and their current state?
Oh no, I like Marvel. I was actually just started watching the What If.
Oof.
And I started off with the zombie episode.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one to.
I just jumped in. I was like, zombies? What?
Nice.
I love how Spider-Man is like doing the whole zombie land thing. Like, okay, this is how you survive the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Number one, like, it's perfect for Spider-Man to be doing that. Like, no one else can be doing that but him. It's actually a pretty sick episode. Yeah. I enjoyed it. Seeing Vision and Zombie Wanda. You should definitely check out. I think the one before that with Doctor Strange.
Oh, I'm definitely. Now I'm gonna watch all of them.
That one is.
Out, though. I can't binge it.
For sure.
If I binge it, I feel like an asshole after. I'm just.
It's funny when you were mentioning all of the, the Bob Ross stuff that you've been doing and how you like to kind of go crazy with a character. I definitely got some What If vibes for sure. Definitely check out that Doctor Strange one. It's intense.
I really like Doctor Strange, and I like the trailer that dropped for that.
A lot of stuff.
I want to see that. I haven't seen the last Spider-Man, so don't.
Cap, I told you, no spoiler.
Don't blow that up.
No,
you got to see the last Spider-Man.
It can't be blown up anymore than like.
Yeah.
Yo, Cap, I'm with you. I'm with you with Captain Carter, bro. I would love to see some live action Captain Carter stuff happening, man.
Yeah,
I would love to see that.
The super soldier serum on somebody that already has that knowledge.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. And she's hot. That helps, by the way. She's hot.
Oh yeah, it always helps.
She's hot.
Yeah.
So tell me. So now that we've discussed, we've had a great time. We have an hour left.
Yep.
Le, what you need to tell us, bro? The floor is yours.
So Chris will be so kind to allow me this time. Great guest. Awesome times.
Yep.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, I want to discuss something with you. Everybody loves Loki, right? The TV series. Everybody loves WandaVision.
Oh, okay.
I love Hawkeye because Hawkeye's my kind of ground level guy. You know what I'm saying? Also, Moon Knight is coming out pretty soon. That's going to be cool, right? It's going to be great. But my problem is you forget the originator of all of it. Kind of like Blade started the real Marvel thing. You guys remember that?
Yes.
Iron Man, Blade did. Respect the first one. I'm talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier. Act like you don't know that was the shit. Act like that opening scene with Sam flying everywhere, people going through a helicopter, doing his thing, and then Bucky's story arc with the therapist doing, and then Nemo, not even the dancing thing, Nemo just being Nemo. Awesome. Then by the way, props to the guy that played John Walker. I forget his name escapes me right now, but I know he's Kurt Russell's son.
Yeah, Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt Russell. Yo, punchable face. Amazing John Walker. Like, you have every right not to like him. You know what I'm saying?
That's
but
the
we're over
character.
here talking about Loki, WandaVision, everything that's coming out. And at no mention is anybody saying anything about the one that first came out.
Russell Wyatt, there it is.
Russell Wyatt. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Cap. Nobody's appreciating the very first one that came out and did wings and tings, as we called it, my people's call wings and tings. It really captured it. Something's going great about it. But then it led to us having our first black Captain America. We have a Captain America now. We have one.
Yep.
You look like this. See this? See this pigmentation?
That's why people don't like it.
But see,
that's why nobody talks about it, because all the racial stuff, and it pisses me off.
The interesting part is that the story in it, just with Bucky alone, there's a struggle there. You know what I'm saying? That anybody can relate to. You know what I'm saying? When you're just trying to deal with shit from your past, from now, you're like, yo, I've been through shit. And then Sam dealing with what he's dealing with alone. You got two guys on different.
I haven't seen it, but Bucky was always a good comic character that when dissected,
absolutely
was great.
Absolutely, you know what I'm saying? And you're looking at two people dealing with different things at different ends, but then they're meeting in the middle. You know what I mean? And they understand each other. And as much as they like to say they don't like each other, they're more alike than they ever understand because of one person, because of Rogers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we both got to live up to Rogers, and then they realize, no, we don't. I don't get up to shit. I'm me, you're you. So let's remember this. WandaVision, Loki, amazing. Love them. You know what I'm saying?
I watched WandaVision with my wife. I really like that. I like the special effects within WandaVision, and the storytelling. Storytelling was really good. Going through the years of television.
Yeah.
Yes. When they did this, I as a
great idea.
Love that. Like going through the Brady Bunch, a Modern Family stuff.
Freaking love that idea. I was like, oh my God, you can tell that forever.
Pretty sure
like,
you can...
like, that was really good. I love that.
And I'm pretty sure Moonlight's gonna be sick. Let's get back to realizing that what started everything is just like Blade. Respect the OG.
I wanted to say before Blade. I wanted to say even before Blade. Before that Spider-Man, I always felt like Spawn was used as like a test dummy. Like, there's certain scenes or the stunt double, the dude, the figure looks a lot like the stunt double in Spider-Man, that original one. The Tobey Maguire one.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So when you look at that Spawn, and like if you compare it to that, it just looked like they were trying out a lot of stuff for that movie. Where they said they're gonna remake that. Where
comic book movies were weird at that time. You know, you had the Daredevil, you had
it took all this time for Hollywood to catch up to what comic books were since the beginning.
Correct.
So comic books like continually evolved, where movies at one point were afraid to do comic book stuff because they were like, nah, we can't do it. And then later on, the special effects caught up, which is what it needed.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
basically, yeah.
Yeah, but
someone to like really give it some damn love. But like, you're 100% right. So WandaVision was first. WandaVision was first. It was, but like, it's just like I spoke to some people about it, and I see online people didn't like all the racial stuff in the Captain America Winter Soldier or Falcon Winter Soldier show, and it's like, man, like to me, that's just like what kind of made it so good. You know, the respect. You know, like Sam was rejecting this shield the entire time, and I love that moment that him and Bucky had before the big moment where he's like, "Yo, maybe you and Steve will never understand why I don't want this damn shield." He's basically saying, "Y'all white. You're never gonna you're never gonna understand why I can't take this, why I don't want to take this. But just understand that I was trying to do the right thing." And then later on, we have that moment where Bucky tells him, like, "Yo, shit, bro, my bad. Me and Steve never thought for 1 second what the shield means to America, and then hand it over to a black guy. Like, yo, we just thought you was a good dude, bro. Like, we didn't think about that." And I remember me watching that show. I didn't think about that. At one point, I was like, all right, Sam, like, are you afraid to be the suit? Like, what's wrong with you? And then he finally, once he said that, you and Steve will never get. I'm like, oh shit! Of course, he can't grab the shield.
You know what's crazy? I always had this theory that I think Steve knew exactly what he was doing by giving him that shield.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I knew he exactly, like, exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, because Captain America has a very tactical mind. Let's just put it out there. You know what I'm saying? And so he understood what he was doing, but Bucky was the one that didn't get it.
Yeah.
But the funny part is, props to Bucky and Cap for just seeing Sam as Sam. They're not seeing a black man. They're just seeing a good man.
A good man.
They're just seeing, both individuals are seeing, this is a good man.
Yeah.
Especially Bucky. He's like, yo, you're better than me. That's why you should have the shield. I've done what I've done, and I'm still working on my shit. But you, Cap picked you, and you helped Cap.
I love that, though.
Most times. Yeah.
I love that continuous chain letter. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
I feel like, to me, that's what comic books is, or that's how I feel about each comic character. Like, oh, boom, here's this idea I created. Let me see your version. Once you've got it, like, to an extent, like when you see like 3 or 5 issues of a character, you're like, oh, wow, that's how he should be. Or no, then you just see a different twist. Like I would say with like Hulk, whenever you see different versions of the Hulk, or you see different versions of Spider-Man, you just like kind of fall in love with it because you never saw it in this perspective, or you never saw it from this from this imagination. Like,
oh, well,
I love that because it can constantly keep going.
They just cast Homegirl as Madam Web, so we're about to see some different versions of Spider-Man coming up.
Is it Dakota Johnson?
I think that's her name. Fucking
That's her.
50 Shades. She was in 50 Shades. Yeah.
It's funny because I don't know who she was. Somebody told me, yo, that's Don Johnson's daughter. I go, oh, I love Miami Vice. I related it to Miami Vice right away. I was like, oh, I love Miami Vice. I've never seen 50 Shades of Blue, so I don't know.
Me neither.
I couldn't sit through it.
I
tried to get me to sit through. I sat through half of Twilight and half of or like a quarter of 50 Shades, and I was like, come on, man, for real.
So it's funny. So I went to 50 Shades. It was like like 2 jobs ago. We were pretty close to the movie theater. It's funny, we were pretty close to the strip club too. So during lunch, we'd take long lunches, go to the strip club, and then a bunch of people went there. They were like, "Yo, let's go watch fuck it, let's watch 50 Shades." I was like, "Whatever, it's better than being at work." I ended up watching both of them. But it's funny that you mentioned that the whole, those other movies, so like Twilight and stuff like that. So my previous relationship, right? We used to have like a movie night where I would pick a movie. Next week, she would pick a movie. But it was the 2 extremes where I would pick some crazy off the wall action, old school shit, Last Action Hero, shit like that. And then she would pick some girly shit. So we never made it to Twilight, thank God. But we did get to The Notebook. Man, The Notebook is like the ultimate chick flick. It is crazy. Like I was like, man, this is a little much. We're gonna need some Arnold Schwarzenegger in here. I actually put her onto this really old movie with Who's Falling Down's dad. I always forget their names.
My wife sometimes watches these novellas that look like a softcore porn.
Yeah, oh man. Hold on, let me.
Yo, these plots are fucking. Who's gonna get fucked? Like, what's going on over here?
I always forget his name, bro. Kirk Douglas.
Oh, okay.
So Kirk Douglas. It was him and Charles Durning. It's a movie called Tough Guys. It came out in the 80s. It's just these guys were train robbers, and they got caught. And they're train robbers, like the biggest train that they were gonna rob. Their magnum opus or whatever, like the big hit. They screwed it up, and then they go to jail. They go to jail for 30 years. Then they come back out in the late 80s, and it's like they went in the 60s, so it's like a whole new world. And they're trying to be like law-abiding citizens and shit like that. And it's just 2 old dudes, and they end up like hating regular life. And they're like, "Fuck it, man. Let's just try to get the train once again because the train is still running. That one train that they try to rob, so they try to get it again." So like it's yo, Tough Guys. My dad put me onto this movie. Tough Guys is so good. It's a good movie. I suggest it's 1985 1986. Great movie.
I'm gonna give you two good movies and one. There's one movie that's gonna satisfy you and your girl will enjoy it, and that's Hitch with Will Smith.
Well, Hitch is incredible,
fun. And then the other movie is, if she's down for like a really fun buddy cop movie, is The Midnight Run with, unfortunately, the other gentleman passed away, with Robert De Niro. That shit is hilarious.
I thought you were gonna say Midnight Express. That movie is not hilarious.
No. The Midnight Run is hilarious. If you watch it, you at no point do you see Robert De Niro from The Godfather to this. This is before the Fockers and Meet the Parents and all this bullshit. He is because he's Robert De Niro, but like in a different setting. But you can tell how good he is as an actor. He was like, "Yo, I'm mean, but I'm adjusting to what I've been put in." And The Midnight Run is amazing. It's one of those movies. I'm not gonna lie to you. When you see it, you're like, "Yo, that's Robert De Niro. Like that's the Raging Bull." You're like,
"Yeah."
You're like, "No."
Midnight Run.
It's also hilarious, by the way.
It's on 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Was that for the one you're talking about?
For the one you're talking about, Midnight Run.
Yeah. I'm telling you, folks, give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those, but Hitch is for you and your lady. The Midnight Run is for you. You get a chance, fellas. Hit it up, man. It's a fun
I was gonna say
movie,
a film that I always, whenever my pop has it on, I gotta stop and just sit down and watch some of it. Is 310 to Yuma.
310 to Yuma, man.
That shit always fucks me up.
Yeah.
Because I stay stuck a little bit with the acting, and I'm like, damn, all these good actors, freaking really like, or the editing, the lighting. I'm like, I get stuck.
Yep.
And this dude, I can't remember the character who has this like really nice jacket on, a freaking the white jacket.
Ben Foster, the guy that played Archangel. Yeah. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Underrated talent. That guy,
he is an underrated.
He scared me in that movie, and I was like, this bitch ass dude was Angel.
Yes,
he's a badass, bro. Badass.
And that and the mechanic.
The mechanic.
I liked him in that.
But he's a badass until he just fucks with the transport. You know, the transport is transport.
Yes.
What do you want? It's what he does. You know what I mean? But in that movie, it's funny because you got Russell Crowe, you got Christian Bale, and the baddest dude in the whole movie is Ben Foster.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're like really?
What I like in the mechanic though is that I think he laughs right before he dies, and I'm thinking, whenever a character dies out, very memorable, and it just sticks in your head.
Yeah.
Like I think of Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
With Mr. Blonde.
Yep.
Quentin Tarantino told him that he didn't want him to fall over, and he still stood up for a real long time and did the whole like cowboy freaking fall down. And I'm like, that it's so memorable. It freaking sticks out.
Absolutely. I remember that.
I love things like that. That's shit that I try to plug into comics. Like I know if I put it like this and the composition that they did it, somebody will catch it.
Yeah. So a fan will look at it and go, I've known that.
Yeah, I've seen this before. Where did I see this?
Thing in that movie is, you gonna bark all day, little doggy, or you gonna bite? It's like, dude, are you about this or you're not? Because you're talking a whole lot right now, son.
Yeah.
Are you about this, son? You know those guys, you look at guys, you go, yo, will we scrap or not, bro?
One of my favorite scenes when they leave him alone with the cop. When they leave him alone with the cop and he freaking just hops off, I'm like, yes, there's so much tension and build up to that it's like that whole thing looked like a play to me when I first saw Reservoir Dogs.
Yes,
I can see that. Yeah.
I can definitely see that. Yeah, you can easily see that on the stage easily, nowhere and anywhere. It doesn't matter. So,
yeah, I was like, you have all these great actors, and it was written just the way it was written. Just to have, you don't show the heist, you don't show freaking all these scenes. You talk about them, and it like builds it up even more. Because now
you're expected to put it together.
Yeah, like you're forced. You as the viewer are forced to use your imagination.
Like, I love when anybody, whether it's a game, a book, a movie, like they don't hold your hand. Like, yo, bro, you figure it out. And I mean, it sucks because some people hate that. In fact, on average, people hate that. They're like, yo,
average, people do hate that.
Give me a 5-minute flashback or something. And I'm guilty of it too. But like when these directors, these movies, these works of art, any type of media, when they don't hold your hand and it's like, yo, figure it out. I love when they do that shit. Love when they do that shit in games, like where they don't really explain it to you. You kind of figure it out. But then they'll leave like little text, like little papers everywhere that people don't read. Yo, in video games, there's so many documents laying around that people don't read. I love reading them shits because it's like you get it from the character. Like in that game, like The Last of Us, it's post-apocalyptic where fungus takes over people and they become like these weird zombies, which is the most plausible zombies you've ever seen in your life. It's actually pretty scary. They're plausible zombies because it's more of a, it's not that they're deteriorating, it's that it makes them aggressive. So it's weird. But like a lot of these areas that you go into, they don't explain anything. You just find a piece of paper from someone who was stuck in this, apocalypse or whatnot, and they're writing it. So you read this little thing and a couple lines like, yo, it's been a couple days. Things getting kind of grim. There's no more food. There's no more water. It's probably the last one that I'll do. It's been great. Thank you. And it's like you put yourself in there. Like they didn't have to show me anything. No one had to talk. I literally just read one little document and it just shed so much light on this one little thing that doesn't matter. I love when they show detail to shit like that, man.
You mentioned that in the last game I was really stupidly hooked on was Arkham City.
Yeah.
And me and my wife at the time we were just going out and I would miss dates. Like I would go, oh, you know what? I'm not gonna be able to pick you up. I gotta save Arkham. Like
the Riddler trophies were insane.
I captured Riddler in that game and felt like
You did it.
A cold case file. Like that's what it felt like.
You are Batman. You put all the pieces together. You caught Riddler. I love all the hidden shit that he would leave written on the walls that you could only see in your black light.
Yes.
Dude.
And all the puzzles just to find where he was gonna kill a teacher, a cop, or like it was all these very innocent people, and it felt like he was Jigsaw.
Yeah, bro, so good.
So yeah, it was very, very good. I remember coming out yelling
Serial Killer X. Remember that I was in your crib. You were playing it.
Oh, Condemned.
Yes, Condemned. Ironically, his jacket.
That is the Condemned jacket. Yes, that is the Condemned jacket for sure. Yes. But yo, Condemned was like the story of this it's kind of like a copycat killer almost. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this is a video game. I've never played a video game like this. This is when the Xbox 360 just released. That was a big jump from the PS2, Xbox to the Xbox 360. So Condemned. Bro, that game was so crazy. These guys would be like, yo, don't play it unless we're there. We want to see it. It was Fern, Krills, and Ed. They were like, yo, you don't play that game until we're there. And they would come over to my house and we beat it. But it's like, you just, you're detecting shit. You're a detective detecting shit. And you just put it, and it's just so well written, so well voice acted. Yes. The big dude from Hollow Man. Remember Hollow Man, the big dude?
Yes.
He was always in all of those high school shows. I think he was in Felicity, I believe, that they drop him and he like cuts this shit. The big dude. He was the main voice of the actor. That's another thing that they started doing, like in the 360 era. We started getting a lot better voice acting. It happened before. I'm not saying it didn't, but we got way better voice acting. But yeah, that shit, I love that shit, man. Like, don't hold my hand, bro. Let me just put it together. It's easy. It's easy enough. I can do it. Okay.
But I'm guilty of hating an open ending.
True.
A film.
Yeah, true.
Because when a film has that open ending and you're still questioning it when you leave, you're just like, what does that mean? Like you're like still trying to piece shit.
Like Dune. I mean, I don't even think Dune was just an open ending. Dune was just like whatever.
Okay, chapter 1.
It was chapter 1. It was chapter 1.
I do remember feeling uncomfortable.
You've all seen Dune, right? All of us?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Caps,
unfortunately.
Right? Chris?
No Country for Old Men?
That's different.
I do remember feeling like, the music. I remember the dude said something about the radio. The radio isn't playing on or some shit like that. And if you notice throughout that film, they don't play no music.
Yeah.
I felt that made it even more disturbing.
Yeah.
Like, it had a very real vibe. And then like the end felt like the bad guy gets away with it. Like this is what real life is. It's like
I'm okay with that, bro. I'm okay with seeing main characters like die and they're gone, and give me an ending where it just ends and do some Kaiser Soze shit. Somebody just walks off into the sunset. Like
more bad guys need to win.
Yeah, more bad guys. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Like that's why Thanos was so good. That's why Infinity War was so good. Yeah, Thanos won for a year. He won. I mean, we all knew that they were gonna come back. We knew that. Like everyone knew it was a 2-part series. We knew something was gonna happen. It's funny because a lot of people theorize, time travel. They're like, it's the only way we're gonna fix this. And that's when things started getting a little weird. But I mean, now we have the multiverse. But like Thanos won for a year, and seeing Spider-Man saying, "I don't want to go, Mr. Stark." Fucking seeing T'Challa, rest in peace. Like, you feel me? Like, I love
whenever time travel gets involved.
It can get crazy if you don't do it correctly, but
yeah,
it can get.
I'm a huge fan of Back to the Future.
Well,
Back to come on.
Like, I mean, Rick and Morty is a complete like they completely took.
How don't you see Doc from? How don't you see Doc? I mean, Doc.
Like to completely take it and go, let's just mush it a little this way, and they made it their own, which is so freaking good.
That was really stoner though. Somebody got really blunted or on some edibles and said, "I got it."
There should be like a stoner, stoner vision, fucking comics, cartoons. Like this is a genre, like
stoner genre. You can start.
Stoner genre. Matter of fact, my style that I draw, the way I describe it is Saturday morning stoner cartoons. That's my style. That you look at the comic and you think, all right, if this was a cartoon in the 90s, I would definitely have to watch this shit.
Aqua Teen shit.
Yeah. Yo, Lay, what were you gonna say about Dune?
About Dune, yeah.
Oh, Dune. It's like, okay, so I've seen the original, right? And then I see this shit, and I'm like, fuck spoiler. It's been out for long enough. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So introduce cool characters, and then nobody makes it to part 2. Really?
Yeah.
Nope.
Well,
not at all.
I remember enjoying Dune.
Introduce part 2. None of them are gonna be there. I've been sitting here for 3 hours. Go fuck yourselves. Give me something.
Yeah. They spent that whole time on those cool characters, and they gone now.
I was enjoying Dune, but when we had like 15 minutes left, I'm like, man, are we gonna get to where we're supposed to go?
Oh, yes.
Because I knew it was gonna be like, I knew they were shaping this out to be the next Lord of the Rings. But dude, I mean, even Lord of the Rings, each of those had an ending. It was open. It was maybe a little ambiguous, but it was an ending. This was like an end of a chapter, and it ended so abruptly. It was like, that's it. And I actually enjoyed it. I was very interested in the story of Dune. I was very interested, and I seen the original, but I was like, what? It was.
I gotta see it. I still haven't seen it.
Look for
remember, you're watching chapter 1. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the first time in a long time.
You told me that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Jason Momoa's performance, right? Because he was literally playing himself.
He was actually okay. Yeah.
He was playing himself. Like they didn't stretch him. Like, yo, the way he is, like a big brother. You know, if you see him,
he was playing a more chill version of himself though, where he wasn't trying so hard.
Exactly,
because he tried.
You're like, yo, for the first time in a long time, I actually like this guy.
Yeah, I felt.
And then, yeah.
I mean, and it's funny
because the first time in a long time, you're like.
And it's funny because when he goes, it's like that's the coolest scene in the movie. He's like, "Oh, he about to nope."
But you know what's funny? The funny part is, the funny part is, in Games of Thrones, they didn't give him the decency to go out like that.
Nope.
No, they did not.
I'm gonna make it clear to you. Like when I watch shows, I get attached to characters real quick, right?
Yeah.
For Games of Thrones, I clearly got attached to him, right? You know, he's a big bad dude, badass dude. All of a sudden, like he gets sick. Ironically, in Walking Dead, Shane, who winds up playing the Punisher, nobody saw that coming. How he dies, I was like, and then I stopped watching the show after that, and people get mad at me like, "Yo, that's my character. I don't give a shit anymore. You just lost me. You lost me because my guy is gone now, or the woman, or whatever. You know what I mean?"
Yep.
So you gotta think, what's the next character? Who's the character they're gonna have to replace that character? How are they gonna keep you? Like,
yes,
stuff like that. Yeah, you do get attached, but I do like seeing, because since you told me the whole crew like dies off, I like whenever they kind of do stuff like that, like kind of like Suicide Squad. That one. I do like that. That taking you for a ride, like you get introduced to all these characters, then all right, that's not who the squad is. What's the squad over here?
What's that movie that Chris Pratt just did, Day After Tomorrow?
Yes.
That motherfuckers just dropping down, dying. They're just dropping.
The Tomorrow War.
Tomorrow War, that shit.
Yeah.
But people just dropping. Bump. I was like, yo, what the hell? Yeah, I do enjoy that. Like, sometimes it's okay to like, just don't play by the rules, man. Like, it's okay. Yo, make some people die.
But if you're gonna do it, do it right.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
You can't have a speeding car and be like, yo, this nigga's gonna crash, and then he stops and then gets out and has a heart attack.
Yeah.
It don't go together.
It reminds me of Final Fantasy VII. I know I'm bringing in a lot of video games. I'm sorry, but Final Fantasy VII, incredible video game, one of the greatest RPGs of all time. What that game did to people at the time, it gave us one of the best female characters of all time. She was one of our love interests because Cloud, the main character, was just getting it from everywhere. She was introduced, like he was helping her. She comes into the party. She's like this happy-go-lucky person, but she's like really important to the story. They made us fall in love with her. And then halfway through the game, they just murder her. Like, yo, sword. So the main antagonist in that game is called Sephiroth. It's about like a fucking, like I want to say like a 7-8 foot sword. It's like lengthy, and my man just drops from the rafters and we're like, in a video game, I've never seen this. No one kills Peach. Feel me? Like, no one, like, you know what I'm saying? As far as female characters went, as far as any character went, we don't kill off main characters. So for you guys to make us fall in love with this girl, like as a character, I mean, not that weird shit, because I know dudes be looking at these games a little too close. Like there's a world out there, but like to take her away, bro, that was crazy. Yeah. So like,
that was like, are you paying attention?
Yeah, like yo, like this is, hey, what's up, Gigi? Thanks for stopping by. Hi,
Gigi.
So like, this is like the type of shit. They're like, yo, like I'm glad they fucking did that. Like, yo. Like, this is the kind of game you're playing. Anybody can get it right now, even the main character. If we want, we might fuck around and do something. But, like, man, and they brought her back, and, like, they didn't bring her back, but, like, the remake just came out, and there's something very interesting with that remake and her character. But, like, man, seeing that shit, I was 12. And I'm like, man, I've never seen that in a game where you just kill off a main character. So, like, when they do that shit in movies, bro, like sometimes you think about it like, man, like, is this really gonna go down? Like, you know, a lot of movies.
I gotta say, during certain comics.
I was about to say, have you read The Deceased?
You ever see
Have you read The Deceased? The Deceased
have
comics?
Have I read Deceased comics?
Yeah, DC The Deceased. Like, you know, it's like okay. So there's I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody, but if you read that run, right, it's Deceased, it's like a zombie kind of thing. You read it, that first comic, you just go,
it's taking out everybody.
No, but you gotta understand who's being taken out. And right here, last panel, I'm on some
like crying. Damn.
Wow.
Serious, bro. Yeah, so if you anybody get a chance out there, The Deceased and the DC comic books, it's an Elseworld kind of thing, but it gory, it's dope. But that first one, they literally come in, they kick you in the nuts, and then they spit on you, and you're like, shit, we're doing this today?
I gotta recommend, if you've read The Goon, if you want to see a work of art, The Goon in Chinatown, like the opening, they say, this is not funny. Like, so they went from telling you all these funny books for about, I want to say he was doing for like 5 years or 10 years at the moment. And then he comes up with a serious story that he was waiting to tell. And it has the vibes of Big Trouble, Little China.
Okay. Classic.
So it has that little bit of vibe in there. It's like, this is like a folk tale kind of. It feels serious, but they bend the imagination where it does hit emotionally, where you're like, damn, bro, this is why he's depressed. Like, you start to learn more about the character. You learn about the dude's past. You know, I thought that was pretty cool. I gotta recommend Punk Rock Jesus.
Punk Rock Jesus. Whoa.
Yo, that comic right there by Sean Murphy. Very, very good black and white comic. Very, very good artist. Actually, I got his Batman. White Knight, where it's mostly about Joker.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't picked this one up, it's pretty good. I recommend that. Sean Murphy, just a good, really good storyteller.
One of the craziest deaths like that I remember, like in a movie. And this was just like, we could have seen it happen, but it just happened so abruptly. Fucking Leonardo DiCaprio in The Departed. Like, my man, they just opened that door. Bang! I said, I was like, what? I thought Leo was gonna make it out of this. I really thought Leo was gonna make it out of this, and then the way that it happened, it wasn't like a standoff, and it's like, what the fuck? It literally, door open, Leo gone. After all of this, Leo's just gone.
But the aftermath.
Yeah, of course. When the package gets delivered and they,
you're like, oh wow, he was the only dude who could have known.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
I was really, like, shit. One of those crazy deaths. Like
it was a true Bostonian that did it. The true Bostonian.
Yeah, man. Like,
that wound up being the bad guy. By the way, going into that, when you see the town,
yes.
Tell me. You do not know where Jeremy Renner's character is going in that movie from the moment you start. And two,
you get the vibe.
He's like, yo, listen, I just got to hurt some people. You can't ask me any questions. He goes, whose cow we taking? That's
great. Yeah.
Whose cow we taking? He's like, yo, dude, say no more. You said too much. Whose cow we taking?
And the best part is after they fuck the dude up, he's like, well, I can't ask him, but what'd you do to him?
Yeah.
Like, what'd you do to this fucking guy?
Calm. You pissed my friend off. What did you do to piss him off? Yo, come tomorrow, bro. You're nowhere near the city, or I'm gonna come find you. He take off his mask, turns on some. You understand me?
You gotta love that, because they're totally relatable characters.
Yes.
That you can easily throw yourself into, where you and your friends always just like, talk about robbing a bank or something. It's just like one of those things that just pops up.
Mm-hmm.
you get a couple of alpha males together, you're gonna freaking that's coming up.
Yeah, for real.
That's the funny part. You sit there.
I bet if we planned it well.
Yeah, that's
we could probably rob a bank, son. What do you think?
Yeah, you also
you don't give me that goddamn.
I agree.
Yeah,
we should see.
Kaz, I was about to be like, yeah, son, I can see it. We get to the vote in 90 seconds.
I had a friend.
Yo, seriously.
I got a friend who he would watch The Town all
What's
the
going on, Dwayne?
time.
And
$32,000 is very specific. Shit, he'd come up with that question.
Yeah, you start thinking about shit like that.
Or you go, we could do it, man.
Look, Dwayne just comes in and says, "How can I donate you $32,000?" Yo, give it all to Crazy Chris the Cartoonist, so that he can make the reality come true of Bob Ross, the psychedelic warrior. Oh man, show him that. Look, this is
the title is The Adventures of Bob Ross and the Kung Fu
Adventures
Squirrel.
of Bob Ross and the Kung Fu Squirrel. This is the psychedelic warrior Bob Ross, where he just goes ape shit and starts killing motherfuckers. We need $32,000 for that.
Yeah, there goes his Instagram for.
Go to his Instagram. Go to his Instagram right there, and donate all 32 bands to him so that he can make this comic a reality, because I want it. I want it.
Make it happen.
I said it. I'm like, this freaking draw.
Listen, The Rock. This is clearly The Rock. The Rock had 32,000 around. He just sold Termon Tequila for $3 billion. Bro, show up, man. Yo, we have a wrestling show too.
At times I see I'm just like, you ain't drinking that shit. Stop.
Yeah. He's not drinking that at all. At all.
This is how good wrestling is. The Rock is the most liked person, right? And I remember when he beat the shit out of Mick Foley while his hands were handcuffed behind his back.
Oh
I do remember that.
I remember tearing. And I remember going, stop. No more. Just, I think it was after like the ninth shot. Well, it was just so many. And I remember I tried to draw that out. I tried to draw it out in one of my beginning comics. Like,
yo, that was like, yo, we just seen someone die.
Yes. It felt so traumatic. And then
so you don't even know, like, Bob Ross, a killer. Like, you have like some of what this guy's talking about is that, like, if this were to happen, he would go to like different Saturday morning cartoon universes,
right,
and just unload. Please tell her, please.
Well, when I go to that PBS, the Bob Ross Kills the PBS universe,
that's
that right there. When I thought about that and I wrote that down, and my process, I write a lot.
Yeah.
So I'll write bullet points, and I always write ideas. Or I'll do like a small bullshit sketch, because I want to save the energy for when I go on to the paper. So like I just try to get the composition or something. But that I wrote. I remember just writing Bob Ross Kills the PBS Universe. I'm like, that shit would be so funny. I'm like, oh man, I could go down the line of every PBS freaking show, and those are his enemy. I could change everybody up, you know?
It's so good. I would love for you to, like, it's funny, like, if you do this, you were to go to some, like, universe, let's say you go, I don't know, let's say you go to the Muppets, right? Yeah. And then he's fucking taking everybody down. And then after everyone's done, you just see Kermit pop up, whole fucking bandana, some seafood shit. And he goes, yo, Ross, put down the gun and fight me. And it's just fucking Kermit and Ross, just one-on-one, get some real samurai shit going down. A lot of respect between these two. I would love some crazy shit like that.
Man, I want to tell you where I'm leading up, but
save it.
I don't want to tell you that one.
No.
He got a RoboCop kill Miss Piggy though. With the arm falls off.
It's bloody. And that's when Kermit fucking loses it.
Yeah.
Comes over and grabs
Samurai Kermit.
That is so funny. We got
and just to show how bad he is, just to be like, oh, was that your girl?
Fucking Bob Ross, yo, that's so funny. We actually were thinking of we created a show. Well, we do a lot of shit like that here. We just fuck around, but we actually created a show that we're very excited about. So I mean, it's not going anywhere. But we decided to do something called Meet the Waynes, but the Waynes like Batman. So it's like Batman, the Robins, Batgirl, and it's like we just see their like regular day life. You know, they're just chilling. They're having breakfast, and all of the superhero shit that they do, we never see it. They just, the bat light is up. They go do their thing. They come back and they're like, "Oh man, that was a real rough fight, guys." Like, like, God damn, like I'm a little banged up. So we just see that, just a regular day life of the Waynes, and just no superhero shit stuff. Like we don't want. None of that. Don't show an ounce of that shit, and then just have these people like they're all like miserable because Batman's kind of a dick. So it's like they don't even give like they don't get an allowance. It's like, bro, you're rich. Can I just get $10 to go to the mall? No, training. It's just miserable like that, bro. It's too good.
And then he'll get that random text from the Joker and shit.
Yep. The text
so we actually so him and Joker are like actually like kind of friendly, whereas like Joker just keeps bothering him via text. It's just like sending him memes and like eggplant pictures and shit like that. And when the Joker doesn't like contact Batman will be like, "Yo, it's been a couple weeks, man. You okay?" So it's like kind of making them friendly a little. I mean, they're not really friendly, but it's like, "Yo, man, we just be." I love that kind of like crazy, almost like fanfic that you're doing, where you just take these characters and just fucking run off with it, like. I need to see that Bob Ross shit, bro. That shit. I think that's a fucking real good idea, man. That's super funny.
I'm with it. Especially him and his just like literally leaving the studio gear to handle business.
Yeah, man. You can't change that. You can't like there has to be a scene.
Like, literally like, yo, I just left work and I'm ready to do more work.
Like, bro, like if we could see his closet and it's just a bunch of those shirts and a bunch of those khakis, and then next to that you just see all the guns, I'm fucking losing.
And there has to be a hair pick. There has to be a hair pick for the afro.
They go down to the basement. He opens up. He's like, "Oh, I didn't show you my new collection."
Yeah,
just
guns.
So I'll go to that page.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's too funny. It's too
when I was
funny.
drawing that, I got a lot of hidge weapons in there.
Yeah,
so there's like a lot of Easter eggs.
I feel like the Bob Ross can go right after the Waynes or vice versa. Like just
bro,
flip them.
Bro, can you imagine just Bob Ross like fucking sharpening a brush and just fucking
he had to smack somebody's face in that pose, just beat the devil out of them.
Look at this. Yeah.
So
look at the pose. Look at him. He's ready.
Look at the pose, bro.
He's ready. He's ready. Look at it.
So funny. Look at him.
Goes down the basement with the squirrel.
Yeah. Look at him picking up the guns. Look at him looking at the guns.
Going over.
That's so fucking hilarious.
There's like a shitload of weapons.
That's great. And I like the R rating there. Like, this is how we roll it today. This is how we're doing it.
That's how I got into the spread. But this was actually, I believe this was like the first page I actually drew for it. But then I just built up from that.
Oh, wow. Because he's really awesome.
Yeah, like it's so tactical the way he's holding the gun. Yeah, it's so good, bro. That's so funny, bro.
That's the saw.
Yo,
that's the saw. And
that's awesome, bro. That's awesome, man.
What was I looking at? I think I might have been looking at reference photos of me with it, and looking at Punisher as well. But yeah, I looked at a bunch of my freaking photos. But there's a lot of fake. There's a lot of funny weapons back in the. I put the chainsaw for Evil Dead. Or I got Negan's bat from.
Nice.
From Walking Dead.
Yeah, I got Raphael's size.
I was gonna say the size. I was like, where are the size?
I got a bunch of shit. Nunchucks, of course.
Clearly.
You gotta have nunchucks. There's all types of freaking gimmicks.
What kind of 80s baby would you be without nunchucks? What are you doing here? What are we doing? 80s baby without nunchucks. What are we doing?
And like I like to tell everyone from time to time on this podcast, do not sleep on the CG graphics Ninja Turtles that they have on Nickelodeon. Those are pretty good. Those are really good.
Yeah.
A lot of.
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Chris. They have this episode. Now I get it, people's nostalgia to the Turtles. I get it. But don't let nostalgia fool you. Now, like this whole thing is in CG. So these guys actually do fight scenes now. So it's pretty sick. But one of the episodes is just an homage to Big Trouble in Little China, where the three turtles besides Leo get the straw hats and they have the things. They open like April, because April's young in this shit. She's like really young. Her and Casey are teenagers in high school in this. Yeah. So she finds a knife and opens it, and Lo Pan comes out that bitch. It's legit Lo Pan. He's doing the thing. Bro, it is an incredible episode. He's doing all of it. It's his voice. I mean, well, if it's not him, it's someone who clearly was brought in to sound like him. And it's just so, they have so many crazy little things like that. They have a whole episode that's like animated in the old school style of Ninja Turtles. Like, bro, my son used to watch this. And one day I'm just watching it with him, and I see the turtles and they're jumping around and they're all over New York and they're jumping in the rooftops. You got like that chill lo-fi hip hop playing in the back. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? And I just kept watching it. Splinter is like, they really tap into his like Japanese roots in this shit. Bro, there's like a whole story arc that they go back to the Hamato clan, and it's his story between him and Shredder. It's like 3 episodes. Bro, everybody listening right now, do not sleep on this show, bro.
Oh, yeah, it's dope.
Please, man. It's
dope.
It's so good.
I checked it out because of Cap, so I'm like, yeah, get that.
Yo, did you see that last season?
No, you told me to watch. I've been catching up on Netflix Marvel shit.
Oh man.
You mentioned all right, here's an animation that me and my wife were watching, was Enchanted.
Enchanted? What is it, like it's one of the, like a Pixar thing or like an anime?
No, it's comedy. Or maybe I'm saying it wrong. It's Enchanted. It's Netflix. That's from the creators of The Simpsons, I want to say, and Futurama.
Oh, I have seen, like, I haven't watched it though.
This feels like Game of Thrones in animation form, because there's so much world building, I feel like, where they're kind of telling this story of these like flawed characters, and just like, you got to see it's like a huge journey. That's
Disenchantment? Disenchantment. Okay.
With the blonde haired
girl. You can see it immediately in the style. You can see it.
I'm telling you, it goes down that Game of Thrones freaking, like, certain characters you're gonna see. You're going, this is Game of Thrones in animation format.
Well, Eric Andre is in there, so
yes, it. That shit is funny.
Already, I could already tell where this is going. Man, there's so much shit to watch nowadays, bro.
There's so
much. It's hard to keep up. And then look, I'm gonna be honest. Like I stopped comics for a long time. Like, and now that I'm doing this shit with these guys, I do try to read up. But like, I missed out on so much, and like, all of these new. I don't own a graphic novel type of comic. I don't own one. I have OG shit laying around, sure. But like, it's so hard to keep up with everything. And then now we got the MCU, and they just pumping shit out everywhere. We got Peacemaker and Peacekeeper, and we got DC over there. There's so much. And then I do play video games, so I like to game. Yo, sometimes I got like 6 hours. I got like 4 or 5 hours, and I'm like, bro, am I gonna watch a couple episodes, or I'm gonna hop in a game? What am I gonna do? It's just so much embarrassment of riches when it comes to entertainment and media. There's just so many different avenues. It's hard to keep up with everything. I have not watched Naruto just because there's 1,000 episodes. Like, I don't even a half an hour a piece. That's a lot of catching up. That's a whole summer right there, son.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I can't do that, bro. I was watching Attack on Titan, and I stopped watching Attack on Titan after season 2. I think I watched the first 3-4 episodes, and boom. And then now we have. I just started watching Demon Slayer. I don't. You guys don't really do anime like that. Demon Slayer is top tier. Tanjiro is probably one of the best written anime characters I've ever seen in my life. Heart of Gold, that kid. Heart of Gold. But there's just
I like
so much.
What's it? The House Husband.
Have
you seen that anime?
No, you see, there's so much.
There's a Yakuza, a retired Yakuza.
Chill out, you.
Okay. Yes.
You just said retired Yakuza though. Like, chill. When you talk Yakuza, I'm in there.
Yes,
that's what that show is. That's the plot. That's it.
It's funny. Hilarious. Thrills put me on with Baki.
Baki is incredible.
I love him.
That had
me trained, so I'm like, yo. The moment I saw Baki, I was like, I'm with it. Then there's another show like Baki. Then there's another show like Baki. So I'm like, I'm getting, you know what I'm saying?
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned Yakuza. There's like a whole series of Yakuza games, right?
Yes.
And they were kind of meh. Well, they came out of Japan. So when they got here, people didn't really know about them that much. But they just started redoing the games, and I'm totally into this Yakuza shit. It's crazy.
Now that you mention it, though,
Sleeping Dog was
that's
good.
a story within one of my comics.
Yo,
this comic.
Really?
Yeah. There's a story where Sabu. This is in reality. What happened when Sabu was in Japan?
This is what I was telling you, I think, when he was in that organization with the beginning of ECW type shit, the Japan version.
Yeah,
the first exploding ring match. Yes,
his uncle, the original Sheik, was like, "Yo, you got to be nice to the sponsors. Like, you got to be nice, right?" And he got fed up. He got to the point where he was just like, "Yo, these guys act like they own everything," which they did at that time. They did. So he takes the wrestler who he's wrestling with and throws him into the Yakuza's lap in the front row.
Yeah.
And then this melee breaks out, and half the crowd was Yakuza.
Oh.
And chases Sabu backstage, and the dude has a chair to his temple, right? And Mike Awesome comes out and saves him.
Yeah.
He said he was never a fan of Mike Awesome until that moment.
Yep.
You don't fuck with the Yakuza though, bro.
Yeah. So the way it was like, yo, there was sections with Yakuza, and they said for every wrestler you don't go in that section.
Mm-hmm.
And Sabu was like, yo, fuck that. And he learned there is no fuck that when the Yakuza tells you.
When the Yakuza, yeah, chill. You don't fuck with the Yakuza, bro.
My introduction.
Dark Side of the Ring, the episode of this last season with the Japan shit. You gotta watch it, bro. That shit was crazy.
Introduction of a bad guy.
I was about to just tell you about the tattoos as well.
Look at that, yeah.
Man, that looks good. Oh, man.
So yeah, that's my introduction to a villain. I was like, yo, this is how he's gotta make his entrance.
So I was I went to school for like a year and a half or so, and I went for advertisement, art, and computer graphics. But one of the prerequisites, well, it wasn't a prerequisite, but one of the classes was drawing. So we used to draw a lot of models and shit. So the lady who ran that was a Japanese lady. She never told us to call her professor. It was always Tammy. So, yo, don't call me professor nothing. Call me Tammy. Super Japanese, this lady, but she was like hip and young, leather jackets. So she always tell us she dated a Yakuza back in Japan. And the stories that she would tell us, kid, insane. And she told me that there's a division of the Yakuza, and there's nothing but love here, Yakuza. I love you guys wholeheartedly. There's a division of them that would do this invisible ink tattoo. So it's not necessarily invisible ink, but it kind of like when you drink a lot, it kind of irritates your skin. So it starts bubbling up, and you can see the tattoos are like that. Now, that was some real like crazy shit. Most of the Yakuza tattoos that you see, usually like a dragon or something like that, that signifies status. You just don't get those tattoos. And they go in chain. Like first you get a piece, then you get the whole thing, but it's only black and white. It's only when you truly graduate that you get those colors. So like they have this like other division of the Yakuza with that invisible ink. She had pictures, bro. This lady was like deep into that shit. It was so interesting. I was 18, fresh out of high school. That's when I started doing Yakuza. That's when I started getting into it. Oh boy, here we go.
What
you got going on here?
So, when I got to the Army, I got before the Army, I had a pinup girl on my arm.
Yeah.
And they told me before going in, I got to put clothes on her, right? Because it was naked. So it's this pinup girl right here.
Yeah.
Right. And I got it because it was the one to like, this was the tat that like pissed off my mom.
Yeah.
Shaking.
The rebel tattoo.
Yeah.
The shaking of the freaking.
Oh, the jiggles.
Yes. Of doing that. Going by, Mom, right?
Yeah.
Did that. Oh my God. My mom flipped. She was like, titties. He got fucking titties on his arm. Oh my God. She freaking. That was the one that made her spaz out.
Damn. Yo, Chris, we appreciate you coming on the podcast with us, man. You definitely gotta have you back, man. We gotta have you back.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We probably gonna have to have you on the wrestling one too, so we can talk wrestling.
These. Right now I'm not at a convention, but March 11th I'm gonna be at the HOG show, the House of Glory show. So you catch me before or after. I'm gonna be selling some of these comics. I only got a couple more of issue 1. I gotta get more, and issue 2 is freaking going out like hotcakes.
Nice.
Word.
So just hit me up at CJ Orekinto, ORCJ ORECKINTO on Instagram, and I'll be announcing other stuff that I'm doing and stuff. Like, just did three conventions so far. So with me and my wife. But we do got some other events, but I'll plug that later on Instagram and stuff.
Nice.
Hey, man, and the link to your Instagram is in the chat.
Yeah.
And man.
Thank you very much.
Yo.
Thank you. I really appreciate this. This was cool. This was a cool experience for
and we appreciate you coming on, bro.
For real, man. Anytime, you're more than welcome, kid. Come talk some wrestling, come talk some comics, or come talk some bullshit. We always talking.
Word.
I appreciate this.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next time, and I'll have more stuff.
Yo, definitely. We definitely want to see the Bob Ross evolution.
Yo, yes. wherever that goes, I need to be there.
You're the only one. Like, every convention so far, if I see somebody with any type of red eyes, looking a little stonerish, I'm like, oh, you got my vibes. Like,
yeah. Come here. Let me show you something. That's funny.
But yeah, yo, on that note, it's your friendly neighborhood knuckleheads with Crazy Chris the Cartoonist. Appreciate you signing out.